All right.
Okay. With that, everyone
Here we
ready?
go.
So,
As ready as love will be.
fair. Last session, you, after having a nightmare, you woke up in the snoozing watch, and as you did, after you did, you met up with the council that advises the Viscount on military affairs in the snoozing watch, and with them, you decided to take one of them with you and search for the potion makers. And you found a couple of places. I think we said 4 places that they could be. And as you traveled into the Sleeping Woods, after your first day of travel, you set up camp. And after some shenanigans while having this camp, you got attacked by a flame skull. And that is where we left off. You just finished dealing with the flame skull, also the holy water ritual that's needed. And I think it was early morning, and most of you were either most of you went back to sleep for a couple of hours to get that long rest benefit.
Thank you.
And
Exhaustion. Oh yeah, we all got that.
I think you already did the.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, because Fluke and I did not have long rest.
Yeah.
And Fluke was upset.
Well, you had your long rest and then you got damaged by the flame skull. That was what happened. Okay. So from there,
So everyone's long rested now and it's morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone except for Fluke and Hephe.
Yeah. We just got literally fucked up the second our long rest clicked. It's like, well, cool.
Well, hey, you were doing stealth checks that you didn't have to roll at disadvantage at, so you actually had an impact from it.
It's true. It didn't save me from the massive amount of damage I received.
It's just hit die, and you're with a cleric. You'll be fine.
Yeah. There's paladin. You'll be fine.
I finished my long rest. Oh.
Don't make me touch you with more healing as a minimum than your hit die can do as a maximum.
I mean...
So,
I
with
did
that,
the math.
with that, unless there's something you want to do or talk about before getting on with your journey, you back up and travel for another day.
I mean, yeah, there's one thing, something that's gonna happen every day. It's just like, okay, we got our asses kicked, but we at least survived. I managed to kill a snake familiar. We're gonna, and you're just gonna get temporary hit points after every short rest or long rest. I mean, yeah.
Such an inspiring speech, leader. I feel inspired for that HP.
I mean, we did kick a flame skull's ass.
Oh, I'm so inspired as well.
Yeah, we kicked the flame skull's ass. I feel inspired now. Okay, there's my 7. There's my 7 temp HP. I feel much better.
Hey guys,
7.
we kicked the flame skull's ass. Woo!
Woohoo! Yeah!
Next time we'll kick its ass without getting his fucking heart.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And
Fingers
I
crossed.
did my
Well, I
ceremony.
mean, I did try to be all sneaky stealthy and tried to prioritize the flame skull, but I realized I could have done it better.
I mean, hey, I'll be honest with you. I think we did pretty well.
I almost died.
But your life found a way, didn't it, Hephe?
It did.
As
Also,
always
just to
will.
be note, I believe it is a total of 6 people, including myself, so our NPC also has it as well.
I got hit pretty
I
hard
like
yesterday.
that. Like, oh, that is good to know.
Yeah.
He, oh wait, he doesn't have a... Why do NPCs not have a temp HP thing?
Dude, I do not know. I honestly, there's a lot of things with the NPC cards on Roll20 I don't like, so I just build them with regular character sheets.
Yeah, but then I get to... I too quickly then turn it into a character instead of an NPC or a monster.
You got me there. I made that. I have that problem. Sometimes.
Now he's special. He's got a person
I
sheet.
gotta remind myself, I'm the DM.
So what's Fargarek doing?
Tarek, he is still like leading the way, and
They-
I think his reaction to the speech is less of feeling inspired, but more for in the sense of, oh, you're adorable.
I
But
mean,
he-
that is a fair reaction to Fluke.
That is a fair reaction there.
But
I
he,
I mean, Minotaur. What's his name? Let's just
Tarek.
address him by Minotaur.
I mean, he reacts to it, so. He
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
seem
but
to be bothered by it.
Hefe would not address him by Minotaur. That's not
That's
how he
fair.
would do it.
That's true.
Especially if he's from a specific clan.
The Thunders.
Thunderlight clan. Yeah.
Thargarok of Clan Thunderlight.
Doggerok. I mean, we did defeat that flame skull. It was pretty intense. You got to admit.
He nods his head.
I think people better watch out for us.
Now
I mean-
Asri will laugh a little bit at that.
He will
one.
actually also start laughing at that one.
I mean, I'm gonna say
Hefe,
my,
we both know when it comes down to it, you're not gonna hurt a fly that doesn't need hurting. So anyone who needs to watch out for us is probably going to come to us just because they're assholes in the first place.
And then they'll learn to watch out.
You're right. You're
And
right.
then they'll learn, and then they'll go about their merry way, and they won't mess with the next group of people they shouldn't mess with either. Hopefully, like those two
Fingers
people
crossed.
we let go and change their lives.
Asri just kind of like, yes, I absolutely believe that they gave up their ways.
Insight.
I'm not rolling deception because I'm not deceiving.
Okay,
Like,
Asri,
I'm crazy.
Asri, you gotta have faith.
It's insight to see if you notice the sarcasm.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I will
Be a
insight
fan
if
or
I
something.
notice the sarcasm.
Yeah,
Notice
Notice
the
the
sarcasm.
sarcasm. I say the thing I said.
I
Sorry.
have faith with a lot of people.
I love you.
Those people are not. We did not put a fear in them that necessarily. We put a fear in them to get the fuck out of there. If not, and to not do business with hags, maybe. And no, that's still a life lesson, right? Don't do business with mythical beings you don't know how to deal with.
Yeah.
So you're right. Maybe they'll go back to just being normal highwaymen that rob people.
I mean, when you put it like that, I
Well-
don't like it.
Well, yes, but you've got to think it's the quid and the pro of this entire how the world a little bit goes, right? There's always somebody who's starving that will have to resort to something they feel to get it going until something big changes. So, hey,
I mean,
at
we
least
could
those
just
ones,
create food or water for everyone.
you're right. Not enough people have that ability, though,
You just gotta have faith.
and that's a hard thing for people to have. Don't get me
Life's
wrong.
hard.
Don't get me wrong. Your pool of health is swinging me away every time it brings somebody back from the dead. Because hey, I'm here seeing that. But people can't have faith in something they're not seeing. It's, at least not a lot of people do. And I get that's the reason it's called faith, right? Not witnessing with your own eyes, but it's hard for some people. Hard
Life's
for me until
hard.
you started bringing people back from dead. Honestly,
I haven't brought anybody back from the dead.
she counts spare the dying as bringing them back from the dead.
That's not dead. That's just dying.
Okay, and would they have been dead if you hadn't done anything?
Probably.
All right, and do you have that power because of your magical god? Hefe, do you have
Spirit?
that power because of your god?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies, spirit. No, that is an important distinction. Your deity, the thing that you gave your patronage to.
Yes.
So that entity gives you your power, this pool of health.
Yes.
Okay, so lots of entities give worship that don't get these powers like that. That's why it's hard for them to have faith. There are many other religious sites out there that claim they do this or that, and their abilities can't always do what yours can. It's not uncommon for these abilities to exist, it's just not widespread enough to solve the world's problems.
As a matter of fact, I'm actually starting to kind of believe that maybe there's a bit more than what I learned in school. Because as far as I know, there just had to be a balance all the time of the amount of material that was actually in this realm at all. So I couldn't create food and water out of nothing. I would have to create food and water out of something else, and that would be destroyed in the process. That's pretty special what you can do, Heffy.
I mean, it's magic.
Yes, and that's the thing, Hephe. Your magic is based off of faith and belief. And that just isn't something, like you said, life is hard. But despite that, the tenets of your God's spirit, my apologies, come through with most people. Their life finds a way, and it's unfortunate. But most highwaymen don't end up killing the people in this region, from what I understand. They end up letting them go, well, unless they resist. Unfortunately, that does happen. Some people think they can defeat an overwhelming odds, and they end up dying.
I mean,
But-
I just look at Teak.
Teak looks
Yes.
that quite innocently.
Things
Like a man.
happen.
Things happen. And those incidents, but for the majority of the time, their life finds a way. They're trying to find a way for their life because they're hungry and they have family that needs food. And since their crops are taken by the government, the only way for them to get it back is to, well, steal it.
Well,
It's
maybe we'll
unfortunate.
have the Viscount not take as much food.
I'm not sure if that falls into the Viscount's realm directly, but we can definitely ask the Viscount to try to help with that. So yes, that is a good path.
Hooray!
And honestly, that one I think would make your god proud because that's helping life find a way. Life of children that are probably starving out there in some village somewhere.
That's terrible.
Before my village was,
No, none of my people starve.
your people are very
Party.
unique.
You civilized folk sure are barbaric.
She? You know what? She pulls out a flask. I'll drink to that. That is a true statement.
Look at shrug, just like, kind of.
That's
Yeah.
So we're
Continue on our
walking.
way.
yeah. We're continuing.
Okay.
Trying to teach the centaur basic economics.
But
I
we
mean, you
have
explain to him why people have to
magic.
steal stuff.
But we have magic.
You have magic, darling.
People
And that's
gotta have faith.
Two people make a perception check.
All right, I'll be one of those people.
I think I would like to be the other because I think I have +7. Yeah.
Oof.
20.
A 12 and a 20. Ezra, as you are walking, most of the day goes fairly uneventfully. But at some point you notice a crow following you. And as soon as you give it any form of attention, it immediately flies off.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I shoot it with a longbow? Or attack it, but
Make an attack. An attack roll with your longbow if you want to.
yay! 24.
24 will hit the crow. It falls dead on the ground.
Not a familiar.
Nope.
Luke will just pick it up with the arrow, just like food.
Can I get my arrow back? Sorry, ever since the Viscount got kidnapped, I'm wary of birds.
Oh no. You should kill any animal we find. I mean, that snake
I'm
is
just gonna
not a
look at
snake.
Fluke.
Worst case scenario, he will shake the bird. Food. This is the worst case. He says, just handing the arrow back.
I agree actually with Hephe. I don't want to kill any animal I see, but any animal that I think is watching us, Hephe, I apologize, but it's getting struck because if it dissipates into smoke, it was a familiar.
I nodded that.
But especially birds. I'm sorry. And I'm not gonna kill every bird I see. If there's a flock of them, hey, that's probably just birds nesting ground. But if there's a singular bird or a singular one of an animal that seems to be watching or following us, it's going down.
Can we at least try to revive the non-delicious ones?
I mean, she looks at her arrow at that which is like no doubt covered in bird blood, and she's like, assuming I don't kill it or like immediately and put a hole through it, then yes, I would absolutely be okay with that. I'm just
That's just
sorry.
not going to happen.
I'm just not gonna. I don't. I can't guarantee that an arrow isn't going to kill something because that's its intent. And unfortunately, birds are small creatures. Now, I wouldn't mind if like it's a gazelle or something, although I would take its knee probably. But kind of mumbles off. I'm like thinking about where could I hit animals that won't kill it?
Well,
And
aim
about
for the wing.
5 minutes later, 2 other crows appear and start following you. And as you move further, more and more birds, or all of them are crows actually, so more and more crows will start like following you and looking at you and kind of hopping between trees. Quite obviously, like unnaturally, like it's not just a bunch of interested crows in you, but they also don't seem to be familiars.
I don't like this.
I'll speak out in Sylvan, and I'll say, hello, if there's any nature spirits out there, we're just kind of passing through looking for some night hags. We're not looking to do no trouble. We're sorry that we killed one of your birds, but, birds almost kidnapped one of our friends once, and we thought maybe it was associated with that. Not associated, that one's, maybe it was with them.
Make a charisma check. Or actually a persuasion check. $17. At first it seems like your speech doesn't do much, but as you move forward, you see slowly starting more birds start like disappearing from the flock until it's only a couple of birds that still follow you and still are watching you. But they aren't getting more and they aren't getting closer anymore.
Okay, and then I'll respond. I appreciate your trust, and we'll make sure that we don't do anything to violate that or break it. Is there anything that you'd like us not to do while we're here, or have you seen the knot hags we're looking for?
Esri will actively be watching around to see the reaction of the birds to this.
Does Esri speak?
Like she doesn't know. No,
Faye.
Esri doesn't know what he's saying. She just knows that he's
It's
saying
working.
something in another language, and the birds are responding.
Okay.
Yeah, so unless you speak Sylvan, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, she's like just watching him talk, and the birds are leaving.
Actually, anyone who wants to can make an insight check on Thargorak. Because I'll just say that he does speak Sylvan, like technically, but he has to kind of translate it in his head back to common.
That one. I don't know why it rolled twice.
I'm not paying attention to him. I'm
Yeah.
paying attention to birds.
I'm
You're
really
the bird
freaked
thing.
out by these
So,
damn birds.
Tik and Ezra, both you realize, hear him kind of repeat words that Hephe is saying, and then repeat them in common as well, as he is struggling to keep up with Hephe in the language.
Since I assume he's still carrying Teak from yesterday, I will hold back to him and be like, "What are they saying?"
Something about not apologies for hitting the birds, and something about the Viscounts, and something about the hags.
Okay, thank you.
And with your last request, have him make another persuasion check. And I'll say this at this point with advantage.
Okay, exactly. I hope they want to tell me what they don't want me to do.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more like, please.
Ooh, that's a good roll. Thank you for advantage.
Oh yeah, that's good advantage.
We roll like, thank you.
Hefe,
Yeah.
As you say that, at this point you've been following not really anything you could call a road, but like a bit of a broader space between the trees, where it's a bit easier to keep track of everyone while traveling. And you look off to the side where the trees get a lot thicker and where most of the birds were coming from. And there's this dark spot, which now suddenly you notice that around the trees that have been standing there, vines are kind of crawling around the what are called around the trunks of the trees and kind of forming this pathway deeper into the forest.
So it looks like there's a path of vines forming that it
Yeah.
wants us to follow? Or like a path of vines saying like, don't go this way?
Um,
Like, is it blocking
yeah.
the path, or is it like
no.
guiding the
Sorry.
path?
Okay. Yeah. It is creating a path.
Okay, then yeah, we'll be following that then.
Hazard's following suit to Hephe. He's
And-
not wanting to upset any spirits around here, and he seems to be the resident authority on spirits.
As you follow it, it gets dark quite quickly. You lose a lot of daylight, and it suddenly feels you've, like just a couple of steps, have passed into a much thicker part of the forest.
Okay, can I make some kind of like insight or nature check to feel what kind of like vibe I'm getting from this? Or do I feel like this, like, am I walking into like a fey trap, or am I walking into like friendly, like, I guess what kind of
I'm gonna say survival check.
okay, just normal?
Yeah.
Not bad.
This does feel like some fey being. From the interactions you just had, you feel like this is in at least in some form something similar to Pool of Health, but a different spirit.
Okay.
It's how to say, to you it seems like cautious, but because you are there and because Thargarek is there, it is at least giving you a chance, as it were.
Okay.
But it is wary of you.
Okay.
Probably not happy I killed its bird.
Yeah, I'll speak out and say, I'm from the Silver Blossom clan, from the Lost Swamp. I'm gonna be the future leader of it, and I'm a cleric of Pool of Health. I'm not sure if you know that spirit, if y'all are friends or not. But I can feel your greatness, and I want you to know that I won't do anything break your trust.
The path continues for a bit, and for a time it gets darker and darker until suddenly like these what are they called, luminous mosses start appearing, giving like this almost like night sky effect over you. And you notice that in your traveling, you've actually now are walking in like a quite narrow path in between, not what aren't tree trunks anymore, but just like at this point only vines. And as you finish the tunnel, you come out to a small grove with a pond in the middle, and I say pond, but more of a lake kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And in the middle of the lake, this enormous tree stands.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Would I recognize this particular setting as being something from the spheres of Arcana?
Make a religion check.
A religion check.
Or nature. Oh, my apologies. A bit late, but I think you're not proficient in either, right?
Nope.
Okay. So with a 16 in religion, you know that there are various spirits living in the Sleeping Mountains, and you also know of that similar spirits live in the Lost Swamps. You have heard some stories about like fey creatures coming to the material plane and try to imitate these spirits or try to mess with them, as it were. But from what you have heard and have read, those are almost always either just fake or some misunderstanding between the people from the Sleeping Mountains and people from the Vasti. And though there are the veil between the Feywilds and the material plane seems to be thinner in the Sleeping Mountains. You have you've never heard of like powerful fey creatures coming here and doing something along those lines.
All right. So, talking about the tree that's right in front of us, I don't necessarily recognize it as being of a certain fake individual or something. It's just I know it's
No.
probably fake in nature.
Yeah, you know it has. Well, that's a bit of a difficult question to answer. So I'm
Okay.
gonna say with a 16, you don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. That's fine.
As you appear in the place, the path behind you remains open, but it does the mosses in it like stop glowing, and it kind of becomes this very dark, and it almost feels like a void that you would be walking into, as it were.
Okay.
And the area around the lake itself seems very calm and serene almost. And Hephe, as you approach the lake, you notice in it like these what are called I don't remember, these bugs start like lighting up. You know those
Fireflies?
bugs that no, not fireflies, those bugs that climb over the water, as it were.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Jitterbug?
about.
I remember what their
Well,
actual
Water
names are.
skitters?
those
or-
type of creatures, they start lighting up and kind of start skittering in this kind of pattern over the lake.
Okay.
Not a pattern and is anything recognizable, but they make for this weird effect, as it were.
Okay. Then I'll kneel down, and I will present, and I'll kind of like lift up my holy symbol, which is attached to my neck or to my beard, and I'll lift it up and I'll say, "Thank you for having us in your home. Is there anything we can do for you, Great One?"
Seeing this happen, Teak also bows down next to Heffy, like
Okay.
lifts up one of her gouges, and she just whispers to Heffy, "What are we doing?"
I'll see if I can comment. I'm talking to the spirit of the lake. I'm trying to figure out what it is and what it wants and why it brought us here. I was talking to it earlier about about the night hags and why we're here and that we don't mean it any harm. But now I'm trying to figure out what it wants.
Okay, does it feel good to you?
I trust it.
It
Okay.
let us in here.
And me too.
Real quick, I was going to say off-side note, the bug you were talking about are the electric light bugs. They're basically the same thing. They have the same anatomy as the fireflies. Sorry.
Okay, it's good to know. Good to learn. Gonna say, yeah. As you say your prayer, Hephe, a lot of the blah 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 light bugs come close to you, and as they come close, uh, they move away, but the light remains, and a lot of them come close, and they form this kind of veil of light over the water. And I say, with your knowledge, you do notice that this light is some form of healing magic, but you do not know specifically what it does.
Okay. I see that. Are you saying that you want to heal? I also have the same quest.
Make a charisma check.
Okay.
Your attention is drawn to the bird that you shot.
Oh, I'll look over to Fluke, and I'll say, "Can I have the bird?"
If it wants the bird, yeah. I mean, I got other food. just like nervously raffling through the pack, just like
Yeah, nah.
Like-
the deity wants it. The bird. Here, take the bird.
take the bird, take the bird.
I'll take it gently in my hands, and then I'll put it into the healing light that's around me or in front of me.
Okay. As you place it in, you see its wounds heal, and it opens its eyes. And it kind of stands up. It's it's like standing on the light, but if you try to touch the light, your hands go right through it. And as it looks at both of Teak and Hephe, I'd like the both of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Nat 20. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Spirits, be saved.
I'd like Flip and Cloud to mute, and I don't know what the other to not listen in. As it were.
Stefan.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. Wait, give me 1 second. To get TeamSpeak up.
Oh, and this time you can't go to the stream to listen in anyway.
We get secrets. I love it.
Hey.
Secrets time for us. Hooray!
Okay.
It's also a good thing you're a gnome, Teak.
Yeah, I guess so.
So for the both of you, the eyes of the bird give a quick flash, and the two of you kind of are blinded for a moment. And as you look back again, you're not at the lake anymore. You also don't see each other at this point. You just see a vision. And the first thing you see is a small cottage, and within the cottage, there it kind of like moves into the cottage, and in there you see three chests, and your attention is somehow drawn to the leftmost chest for you.
For both of us?
Yeah, for the both of you.
Okay.
Yeah, the wisdom saving throw did not mean much.
Okay. I guess look at the chest. Does it look just like a normal chest, or is it ornate? Does
Yeah,
it have any religious intricacies?
No, there's four exact copies of each other as chests.
Okay.
and you don't understand why, but the your attention is drawn to the fourth one, or to the one on the most left.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
After that, it's almost like you are getting dragged for a moment, and suddenly you are in this bird's eye view of the woods, and you notice that for a large part, in which both of you would know that is in one of the areas that you suspected would the hags would be. You see this surrounding it. You see a lot of like mist and this dark smoke,
Okay.
and
Mhm.
and from there, it almost feels like you're being pulled back, and it feels kind of like falling backwards as you're back in the grove, but not in the same play, not in the same way as you were before. But now there is a gnomish clan living near and around it in houses that are so well hidden in the trees that like a normal person would look just like a normal tree, and it reminds would remind Hephe of home a lot.
Ooh, okay.
And um, as it is, suddenly a group of what are they called? Crap. And now I'm blanking, so now I have to grab my notes.
That's fine. For when you said the leftmost chest, and then we zoomed out and we saw an area surrounded by mist. Was that the leftmost of the four that was on our map, or was it the fourth one on our map?
Okay. So
Was there any relation, I guess, between what we saw as the bird and the chest?
no,
Okay.
it more actually seems um, like a different location, as if you when you saw the shed at first,
Yeah.
it was like where like a squirrel that sits in the tree next to it. When you
Oh,
saw the
okay.
chest, it's like that same squirrel now inside the cottage.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
I get it.
when you were flying, it was like you
A bird.
were in was a bird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just curious if it had anything to do with like the map, but it didn't, and that's fine. I get what's
Okay.
going on here now.
You
So,
see
um,
as you see the gnomes living their life around the grove. You see, uh, seemingly out of nowhere, at least, um, it feels as if they just appeared. But you see groups of air genasi and fire genasi appear and just start burning everything.
Oh.
And uh, this goes like um, the vision lasts for maybe a couple of seconds at this point, but it feels like for years and years as, or it doesn't. It feels like a very long time as you awaken again and uh, you're back at the grove and as you look around now, you um, yeah, I'd say at least Hefe is able to notice the places in the grove where it has healed, as it were, and the other places where it is still healing.
I'm crying.
And I am gonna say, so I an alt hat. I hope they understand. Up. Wow.
They're back yet?
I
Give a
told
holler
him in
if you're back.
Twitch.
I
He's
don't think they're paying
recognizing it.
attention to.
I'm
There's
back.
Flop.
Hey,
There's
hey!
Cloud.
Hey.
I was sitting here.
There's Cloud.
So I have a question, Slumperd. And this is purely hypothetical. If someone was to go Sun Soul Monk, and then also go fighter to get the gunfighter, gunslinger. There we go. Would
Purely
you
hypothetical.
allow them to fire their Sun Soul blast through their gun to have a blaster?
I would allow that in the same way
Yes!
that
I
like
have a
Ralgo
use
could
for
use
this
their
prop.
Eldritch Blast for that.
Oh, I could take Eldritch Blast? Okay, I get it. I'm
But
just saying, I have
What?
a
I'm
prop
just
for that.
now. I'm just
What?
imagining a Warforged warlock.
What?
Eldritch
Okay.
Blast. That's just named Rock.
with
Are
that,
you saying you're gonna be a freaking rogue monk who does Eldritch Blast?
I didn't say anything of the sort. I'm just asking for purely hypothetical build, since we can reclass before level 5, and that's a thing that I now know I can do, and I have the prop for that.
Oh dear lord.
Please
So-
continue, my good generous DM.
Yeah. with that, for Fluke and Ezra, you see a white flash from the coming from the bird, and the bird flies away. And just a moment later, Hephe starts crying. I'm not sure how how Teak was reacting.
Teak is just silent, not really. Like just
Hephe, Teak, what's going on?
something really bad happened here. Can
What
we,
happened?
spirit or something? Is there anything we can do for you?
You don't speak Sylvan, right?
Nope. Just do this in
Okay.
common. Or you know what? What the hey? I'll tell this in Celestial.
Do you know Gnomish?
Huh?
Do you know Gnomish?
I do know Gnomish.
It might work in Gnomish, considering what we saw.
Yeah, and also because it is a Fey-like language.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do it in Gnomish.
Okay. You Teak, you feel warm inside as you ask it, and now that you're looking over the location, you see the same spots that Hephe noticed, where the place is still healing, and you remember how long the vision felt for you compared to how long it actually lasted. And you find that what it really needs is time.
Okay. Can I walk up to one of the trees and try to cast Mending on it anyways?
I mean, you can.
I feel that would be a thing that Teak would do.
I'm gonna say it hasn't much effect, as it is more like new plants growing from the ashes of old trees.
You want something like plant growth?
But it doesn't help much. By the way, for Fluke and for Ezra, to you, it does still seem the entire place still seems completely serene and healthy, as it were.
Luke's just leaning against Edgeray, just like, not a fan of this place right now. Wise man once told me there is absolutely no profit in fucking with druidic shit.
Druidic shit. I
It's not
don't think
wrong.
we have much of a choice here in this terms of the fact that I think it's whatever the spirit is one, forgiving me for killing its bird, and two, or at least giving me clemency, two, and that it seems to be granting us shelter from the night hags and other things at the moment. I've got to ask, Hephe, what happened here?
It looks like some fire and air spirits fought here and killed all the gnomes that were living here a while ago, long time ago. It also showed us where the night hags are. At least I think that's what it showed us. And it also showed us maybe where they're keeping the Viscount. It looks like he might be in a chest or something. Or at least something
Gotcha.
special in a chest, and it's the leftmost one of the four.
Understood.
And then I'm gonna look back at the tree and I'm gonna ask it in Sylvan, if I may, what is your name?
Make a wisdom check.
Okay. Great wisdom. Boop boop boop. That's not a very good roll.
No, 3 on the die.
You get a lot of information at once in your mind, but you make up something along the lines of the lurking tree or the sleeping tree, somewhere in between those.
The sleeping tree. Okay. If I may, is it the sleeping tree?
Um, How would we react?
Maybe it doesn't. I told you my name.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
got
say
a lot at
you.
once. I just want to make sure I'm not insulting you.
And you're saying this in
You
Sylvan?
Yeah.
get the same wall of information again, but slightly more confirming, as it were.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes. Mindful of my ignorant ways. Do you know Pool of Health? And I'll even go into my pack and pull out the vial.
This is the first time we're seeing this vial, right?
Yep.
So what are we seeing?
You're just seeing a very ornate, like beer with a cork in it, and it's just filled with I guess a silvery, viscous liquid. Silvery, watery. I guess it's not viscous. Like just like a silvery, watery liquid. Kind of like almost the same color as the silver blossom of the spiritual weapon that you, the spiritual flower that you saw earlier. You've seen.
All right.
Is it transparent? Can you see the water while it's in there?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna type something out since I don't want to have everyone mute again.
Sure.
Guys, D&D Beyond.
We are not using D&D Beyond though. Although
Costs
I am
too
pro
much
ad,
money.
and I'm pro the best ad, which is of course Gale.
What?
It's Gale.
Gale?
With a silver spin.
Oh, that one.
Gosh, Mrs. Henderson, you're such a drag.
A spoon.
The sweet, sweet sound of no one trying to say that those ads aren't great. Ah. Ah, 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 ah.
I'm researching.
I know.
I am not saying anything of the sort.
Ah, ah, ah,
I told you my very nuanced meaning about him already.
I actually don't remember. I won't lie to you, but hey, man, I'm not gonna pretend to always remember everything.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I said some of them are kind of are
You're
pretty
a
cool,
fence
but
sitter. You're
not
that's
all of them.
right.
Some
Just-
land better than others. That's
This is something that I would look like. I'll post in Discord while I look at the thing that you just sent me.
Oh no. Is this a picture that I can show on stream? Oh, okay.
I think it is.
Yeah.
What?
Come on. I believe in you. Thank you. Bap. Bap.
Ooh.
Oh. As I look, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How am I? What?
Is this your ascension? Are you
Oh,
ascending?
okay.
It's like you see two separate images overlaid on each other.
Of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same exact thing, just maybe like a time, like two different versions of time.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna ask. Okay, so I'm gonna ask: Is that you? Or is that similar to Pool of Health?
As you say, is that you? The image changes to the tree with the gnomes living around it.
Yeah, it's back here. Okay. And then when I say Pool of Health,
I'd say it actually turns to your clan and how you remember your clan living.
okay, so then it's. Are you saying that you also knew somebody else at the Lifeless Lake? That you and Pool of Health and the Lifeless Lake were all friends? Or are you saying that the Pool of Health and the Lifeless Lake are connected?
All still in Sylvan, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The
I mean, because I'm just trying to getting confused where the connection came.
yeah,
Because like I asked
yeah.
it if he knew Pool. I'm asking.
I see where the
Lifeless,
confusion comes from.
The sleeping tree, if it knew Pool of Health, and now it's bringing in the Lifeless Lake. So I'm just like,
I swear, Hephe is the most dreaded cleric I've ever met.
You haven't met Caduceus yet.
Oh my god.
You see in the image, or is it just in the flash, you see the attack on this place again. Then it switches to the centaurs living at the Lifeless Lake, and you see a similar attack coming there. And then it switches again to your
Oh
clan.
shit! Oh shit! Are you saying that we're next?
Imagining a thumbs up
Or has
emoji.
there already been an attack that you in there and that
I'm gonna say you. Okay.
Maybe we should mute after
You see
all?
the same bird eyes view again.
Yeah.
And you see a fire raging from the east of the Sleeping Mountains to its west, and then stopping right where the edges of everything are.
Okay.
And then it's almost kind of from your perspective, it continues further into time, and you see again a flame coming from the east going to the west, but this time it burns a little bit longer at the point where the lifeless lake would about be, and then it in just small like trickles almost it drips towards the further towards the west, towards where you know that the lost swamps are. And then
Why are
they
the
die
fire
out again.
people? Why are the fire spirits fighting the water spirits? Or is it more like, is it trying to show that we were from the lifeless lake at one point because the ravaging flame brought us
you
to
know,
the lost
I'll
swamp?
say what you see is many instances of some fire spirit being born,
Uh-huh.
conquering like almost all of the sleeping mountains, and then dying again.
Okay.
And then you see that a couple times, and then the last time it happened, some flares, as it were, managed to spit over to the lost swamps,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like a similar step in time, but now it is when the it but now it feels like the now, I should say.
Okay. Okay. So it feels like it's all connected. What can I do?
You see your clan living and be prosperous. You see the clans you know live near yours also in a yeah, also living and prosperous, but you notice all of them, including your clan, are kind of getting ready, and as you look, you see these enormous waves of flame coming at these multiple clans that live around you and your own clan.
I need to let everyone know that the Great Flame is coming.
Still on Sylvan.
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's what it understands, as far as I'm aware.
No, that's just me being like,
Yeah.
damn.
I understand. Are the not hags have anything to do with this?
Uh, 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 okay, at this point, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
But you're probably getting a very vague, difficult answer, as they're technically involved since everything's connected.
Everything's
And blah
connected,
blah
yeah.
blah.
Blah blah blah, yeah, but not directly. Okay. Is there anything I can do to make Pool of Health stop dying?
You get the sense that doesn't know. You almost get the sense that it is surprised to hear that Pool of Health is dying.
That's why I'm out here. I was hoping somebody would know. I'll just look down and I'll put the jar back into my pouch, and I'll say, thank you. How long can we stay here before we need to leave?
Your attention is grabbed upwards, and you notice that. Apologies. In the time you've been here, it has turned to night,
Oh shit. Okay.
and
No.
you get the sense that you're you'll be welcome here as long as you want, but it has seen you travel and it knows that this is not your destination.
Yeah. And then I'll say, then, with your permission, we'll leave in the morning, continue on our goal of finding the night hags, and then I guess I'll have to go back to the swamp and let everyone know to be prepared for the great flame that's coming. Is there anything I can do to help the lifeless lake come back to what it once was?
Let's say, as you're looking around, the bugs that were on the water, their light deafens, and the entire place, though it's still calm and serene, it seems more
Somber?
somber, and it seems more dead, like the spirit that you were communicating with has holed up, as it were, has turned away.
Oh, like it doesn't want to talk anymore about that?
But
Okay.
it's used up all of its energy.
Oh, it's useful. Okay. Then I'll turn back to the group and I'll say, well, we can stay the night, but then we need to move on and find those hags.
We've got safe haven for the evening.
And I'll just kind of go up to a tree and lay down.
Okay.
So I have a quick question, just
yeah.
for my clarification. Has it turned night while we were here naturally, or does it feel like it got night all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, and we missed a few hours of the day?
It's I mean, I'm gonna let it interpret it yourself. You don't feel like time is being weird here, as it were, but because of you traveled for quite a long distance through what was a very dark and small corridor almost.
Gotcha.
So the moment you got in and the moment you got out was a large part of your day that suddenly disappeared. And it isn't until like the end of that conversation that you realize how much time has passed between those two moments.
But it doesn't feel like anything unnatural has happened with the time.
No.
Okay,
No.
fantastic.
Just out of curiosity, what does
Okay,
Sylvan
sure.
sound like?
Sylvan is very difficult language to learn if you don't know it yourself, because to most people it will just sound like the wind's moving, or like trees, or like leaves moving in the
Falling.
wind, as well.
Wow.
Oh.
So we just saw Heffy open up his mouth and just
Like,
the sound of rustling leaves
Nature
come
came
out.
out.
Yeah, just fucking nature. Awesome. I want to know what druidic sounds like then. Probably very
Right?
similar, huh?
Sound like
Druidic,
ants.
the way I use it is more of a symbols based. You know the
Like thieves can't.
yeah, you know how in Skyrim they have that thing where the shadow marks. It's almost like that, but for druids.
Okay.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So now that this has all been going on, Asri will set up her tent, and she will try to position it as far away from Decorum and Teek's tents as possible.
Teak doesn't bother setting up a tent. He just goes next to Heffy and just lies down with him.
Okay.
And she mumbles to him. So, Heffy, did you have a good chat with the tree?
Hopefully.
Did you learn important stuff?
I learned that air and fire are fighting. You learned that, right? You saw that too?
Yeah, I did.
Well, It sounds like the fire did that here. The fire did that at the Lifeless Lake. It even made all the area that all the humans are living in. It used to all be nature, like the Sleeping Woods and the Lost Swamp.
Yeah.
And it sounds like something's gonna happen again in the future at where my clan is, at the Pool of Health, with like smaller flames coming from it that are gonna grow into a big, big flame.
Oh dear. That doesn't sound good.
No,
So
it
we
don't.
So can we do anything to stop it?
I think we just have to get everybody together and ready. Let them know.
Okay. Well, if you want to...
I want to get back to my clan as soon as possible and let everybody know, but is there anybody around here that we could let know? Because maybe we could fight it on both sides? I don't know.
That'd be nice. I don't hear the conversation.
Hey, Decky!
You see a very tired and very. You see Decorm being very sick and costing him. It's costing him most of his energy to not puke in a holy place right now.
Oh.
Where normally he has a wine glass, he has a puke bag.
I'd say if I see that, I'll be like, and never mind, we can talk later. Good night.
On the chemo right now. Talk to him tomorrow.
Jesus. Bus of G.
So
I think that maybe I'll ask for Sleeping Tree, anybody else around, or if maybe he can do anything to help Decorum. Because if it can heal the bird, maybe it can heal Decorum. But maybe it doesn't want anything to do with him. I don't know. Spirits.
Did it?
But he fell asleep. Maybe he's gonna stay asleep in. Maybe he'll wake up. I don't know.
I'll just say for all of you, I'm gonna send Decorum a message about what he's dreaming while he's sleeping here.
Oh.
So they will remain at least between Cherry and me for the moment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dreams are dreams. How would we know?
Yep.
Yeah,
The-
but just
the
so you
spells that
don't
let
spend
you
too
see
much
them.
time investigating now while I'm setting something up with it.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so
Put it out, Quinn.
so there would be one more thing Teak would like to ask Heffy.
Yeah.
She'd be like, and did the tree tell anything about the group of gnomes living here? Where did they go? Do you know?
I think they all died.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what that flash was. They were just here, and then there was war.
Yeah. Yeah, no one could survive something like that, right?
That's why I was crying. It was just so sad.
Yeah.
Can I, out of character, just know, how common is the race of gnome within this world, or at least this area?
In this area, you would know that they are fairly common in the Sleeping Mountains, but outside of there, not much.
Because if I'm correct, Teak's a forest gnome, right?
No.
No, mountain gnome.
Mountain gnome.
Okay.
So or I'm not sure if they're called rock gnomes. That's what
Rock
they're called.
gnomes, yeah.
Rock gnomes.
Yeah. So the rock gnomes are fairly common in the Sleeping Mountains. Forest gnomes are fairly common in the Lost Swamps. But outside of there, they are, to your knowledge, Ezra, the race living in the forests that has the most contact with the countries.
Gotcha. So hearing that there was once some here, probably. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I was just curious.
No. That was more or less the thing she would like to ask him, and yeah, she would just get ready to get to sleep, I think.
Okay. So unless there's anything else someone wants to do.
Not till morning.
Then
Nope. And Asri will cuddle. What's his name? My apologies. Fluke tonight.
okay.
Always cuddle someone.
So the night, other than Fluke suddenly getting hugged in his sleep, passes uneventfully, and you all wake up having had a better night than you've had in a long time, probably.
No points of exhaustion. Didn't have to even sleep him off. Great. It's fantastic.
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Just right. Not feeling super comfortable here. That was a really good night's sleep.
Yeah, I thought so too. I look over to Decorm. How's he looking?
Still sick. You notice the spot on his neck.
Growing.
It isn't necessarily growing, but it almost seems like it's a living thing, as it were.
Hmm,
It seems more like a mold than a dark spot on his skin.
Okay.
Well. Questions and answers and answers. Okay.
So,
And I have no idea yet how he's going to react to his stream, so...
Okay.
Yep.
you guys want to be off?
Is Thargarok around?
Yeah.
I'll go up to Thargarok and I'll say, does your clan have any stories about the sleeping tree, the lurking tree?
If I hear that, can I roll a history or a religion or anything to also see if I've heard any stories?
You could make either religion or nature, but it's going to be a very high DC to know even a little.
Oh. Well, let's see. That's a +1 or a +1. So, I'll probably know more about religion than nature. App? That's a 17. I'm assuming I don't get anything.
Yeah, with a 17, you just know it's you know that there's many different spirits living in the forests, in the mountains.
Yeah.
You know that a lot of the people in the mountains and the forest worship them, similar to how your people worship gods.
Gotcha. I was hoping for a nat 20. I won't lie to you.
Yeah,
5% chance.
Hey man, I
Actually-
knew what he meant by that's a high DC is like, hey man, I'll give you the shot to roll a nat 20 here.
So what was the question again, Hephe?
I'm asking, what's his face? Thargarok, if
Mhm.
he knew if his clan has any stories about the sleeping tree or the lurking tree, because he probably doesn't know of the spirit's name either, because I didn't tell him. I was the only one that got that.
No. And he would have been even more confused as you.
But he does know Sylvan, so
He'll-
he heard me trying to confirm it. So I guess he probably would have heard the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. He'll say, we. Actually, I should make a check for him. Yes, he's not like a druid or anything. So. Oh wow. He'll say, we have a couple of stories. And he kind of looks around. And he says, there, at least that I'm reminded of, there's stories about different. They are different. I'm not familiar with Pool of Health, but they are different from Thunder. They are more of embodiments of the forest itself, and they usually call themselves something like sleeping or lurking or waiting. One time they're a tree, the other time they are a grove or a pond or a mountain.
And does your
Um,
clan listen to these spirits? Listen to these
Well,
stories?
we um, we of course share our living with them, and we respect them. Um, but how do I say it? They are often quite picky on who they communicate with. I'm honestly amazed that we're here.
And what's his role in the clan, Thargarak?
Thargrak,
He's just a representative?
he is uh, he is to be the leader of his clan.
Oh, so he's like me. Okay.
But as part of learning about his clan, he is now the representative of the Snoozing Watch.
Okay. Then I'm gonna look at him and say, does your clan worship any spirit specifically?
Yes, we call them Thunder. We are more uh,
As
how
in
do you
thunder
say
and
it?
lightning thunder?
Very, 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 very
Yeah,
frightening.
thunder, as in the sound you hear when
Yeah.
thunder hits the ground.
Okay.
Um,
Not that I'm hearing this, but still.
I don't see why not. You could be there. I'm just talking in common.
yeah, Thargrak would be speaking in common.
Yeah.
This is he speaks Sylvan, or he understands it, but he has to translate it to common to get it, so he isn't really conversational in it. I'm sorry, I forgot the question again. What was it?
I was just asking if he worships any god specific or any spirit specifically, and it's thunder. So you
Yeah.
can answer that. Does your clan have any stories about fire spirits, great flame?
Many. Last night, I was talking with, or not last night, but when I held watch, I was talking with Ezra about the feats of members of my clan before me. Many of those feats were performed during great outbreaks of fire and flames. They say that in the south there's a mountain that once every couple of hundred of years spits forth so much fire and molten rock that it almost creates new fire spirits, and once they are created they start fighting, and once only one of them is remaining, all it knows is to kill things and to expand.
I'm gonna grab him by his shoulders. I'm gonna look him squarely in the eye. I'm gonna say, that time is coming now.
Make an insight check.
Oh, nice.
He reacts with a kind of like surprise and enthusiasm, as like I'm ready to fight kind of look, but Hephe, as you're looking at him, you can see like in his eyes this overwhelming fear as you tell that.
Well, I'm glad that he's afraid of it, honestly.
He's ready
Instead
to
of
fight
just
and do
let's
what he
go.
must, but
Yeah.
like he sounds reasonable. Honestly, this sounds like a very reasonable response. I'm scared as shit, but I'm ready to fight it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna nod my head at that one, and then I'm going to look over at the sleeping tree, and I'm gonna try to speak to it again in Sylvan. I'm gonna say, can you guide us to where the night hags are?
I'd say as you say that, it is weak, but you feel a very specific memory of the cottage that you saw, and then of the mist that you saw.
Okay. And then I'm gonna ask it, are there any gnome tribes nearby that can help against the coming fire?
Something flashes to you, but before it can fully take shape, it disappears again. And for all of you now, the illusion of like the beautiful and prosperous grove kind of fades, and you see these burn marks and scorch marks of where there was fighting.
Oh, so now that I can tell it's just an illusion, that it's losing literally all of its energy to try to help me, I will look around and say, I apologize. I did not mean to use your energy. Please rest. And I guess I'll look at the rest of the group and say, sure, I can do that.
Is that for everyone? Especially
Yeah,
since-
so yeah,
sorry.
they don't technically exist in anywhere near this area.
You said
So
nature
it would be very
or-
odd to have heard of them.
Hey, I don't even know what it is to know that it spews
Difference.
great balls of fire.
14.
Goodness gracious.
Ezra, you've heard stories before about exploding mountains?
No, when Asri sees the tree, like Wade and like this whole illusion fade, she kind of just sits down to process everything. Volcanoes or exploding mountains, those actually exist. I thought those were just a joke. Haha, mountains explode too, guys.
So what do I know about volcanoes?
Make an intelligence or nature check.
Yeah, make your check, man.
Same as Ezra. You've heard about them in like people telling stories at bars about mountains that would explode, but you haven't really read anything about it, or you've always kind of just dismissed it.
Hmm. So you're saying the sleeping mountains might explode?
That's what the sleeping tree is saying.
Or maybe just one of the sleeping mountains?
A great flame is coming, and we must be ready to stop it.
At the very least, we should get this information back to the snoozing watch when we go back.
We must save the Viscount first.
Yeah, of course, but I mean afterwards. Someone needs to know.
Yes, we all need to know. That's I guess what I've been asked to do now by the sleeping tree is to let everyone know so we can fight against it.
Well, you mentioned, or sorry, she would not. Does this have anything to do with what happened at your homeland, or anything to do with that?
I did see a picture of my clan and fire and everything and everybody being ready. So yeah, I think that it showed me the past and the future. It showed me a lot. I still don't understand it all.
But how are we gonna fight an exploding mountain?
We can't fight the mountain itself, but we can fight the fire that it creates.
We can
And
a
on the
lot of
bro-
that create water, of course.
Thoggerok says it creates fire spirits. We're gonna fight the fire spirits it makes.
Sounds like we're gonna need a lot of that create water of yours.
I'm not sure if just water will be enough.
Hey, D.
Oh,
hey,
not
D,
enough, no, but like to put out the fires that they make while we fight them.
Hey, DM. What kind of dragons rule over the city we were just at? Not too long at the start of the campaign.
So Rubel doesn't have direct control by one of the princes.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, okay, what's the general royalty? What's
But you do
Inquiring.
know that the king and queen are currently a gold and a silver dragon, and among all the princes, there's a lot of them.
yeah, Fluke will
There,
just nod a bit, just thinking like, well, if things get really shit, got a king who is resistant to fire, and a queen who breathes a freaking tundra. So that's a start. Not to mention the untold amount of dragonborn that are resistant to fire. It's not
Do you
ideal, but we
think?
have some advantages.
Do you think they'll care enough to come here themselves? This is royalty we're talking about here.
I mean, I guess it depends how far the fire is going to spread, because I can.
make both of you make intelligence checks.
And can I also
Okay.
do I also have any
But
sense
no,
of time that
King
passed?
damn well doesn't want his cities to be burning to the ground. They're his.
If they're not close to any of his actual cities that he cares about, though.
Fluke does not know, though.
Yeah. Fluke, you're not really thinking about it, but Ezra, you realize that though if the fire gets over the border, the king and queen might do something about it, like depending on the situation. But when it's on the nature side of the border, and they would take action, it would technically be like declaring war on the Sleeping Mountains.
Nature's problem is nature's problem.
Can't do anything about it.
Unless we get some treaties going. So let's save this dude. Let's go talk to
Alright.
some mountain folk and get some politics going.
Politics it is. Woo, everyone, we're going to politics. And she's going to go over to Fluke and whisper, God damn it. Fluke, why has it got to be politics?
It's only slightly more dangerous than being an adventurer.
I'm gonna quote, you know what? I'm gonna quote crocodile, the crocodile hunter on you with this one. Is like, you know what? Crocodiles are easy. They just try to eat you. Humans, they pretend to be your friends first before stabbing you in the back. Politics.
Luckily, this is a country of Dragonborn, which are exactly the same but worse. So you know.
Human alligators, dear God.
So, unless you want to chat further, you go back through the same path as you came. Though it's dark again, it does feel more friendly as it did on the on the way on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get out of it, Targarak will actually look at you, Hephe, and no, actually, he will just look at Hephe since he had the serious conversation with the tree, and he'll ask you. So, it shows you where the Viscount is, but also some other location. Do you think we should just head there directly, or?
So did I get the feeling that they were two separate locations, or I feel like the house was somewhere inside that mist?
They were two separate locations.
Two separate locations. Did I feel like which one was closer? Did I get any sense of like proximity?
No, so for the mist location, you the mist location was one of the furthest locations away from you.
One of the furthest. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, I'll bring you to
Map.
here and see
Map.
if I can show you a little bit.
Oh, let me zoom out real quick.
This is still quite zoomed
So
out.
we're over here. So you guys.
Yeah,
in
and there
chat,
is the
sorry.
word kingdom like right over it, but
That's okay.
um,
General issues is all we need.
yeah. So right now, you'd be about at the between the D and the O, like there.
Oh, we're pretty deep in there. Okay,
Yeah. Now you've been traveling for 2 days,
that's true.
and for locations you found a location there, around below the O. Here, I'll
Yeah,
mark
mark
them
it with a
with.
pen.
The red you marked, found one there,
Okay.
one over there. This one is the one you are heading towards for now.
That first one. Okay.
Yeah,
And the one with the mist is the one below the O?
no.
No,
The
okay.
one below with the mist was over there, much deeper in.
Way down here.
So this is, yeah.
Okay. And then
Markers are very important for future fast travel.
and then where did I get the idea that the house with the chest was? Or did I not get an idea of where that is at all?
I'd say you wouldn't. What you would have noticed though is that it's where though the forest was much thicker as what you've been walking through up to now, it was much less thick as the as where the mist was.
Okay, well then I'll just tell I guess I'll tell him I didn't see where the house with the chest was, but I do know that where I saw the mist, that was way the last one between the mountains, like far away from here.
Hmm.
Did he go out with you guys as well?
What?
Like way lower volume?
Volume no. Um
The last part of your sentence.
oh, okay.
Like that.
I heard.
I'll sum it up and say I didn't see where the house with the chests were. I know that it wasn't deep in the forest; it was kind of lighter forest. But the place with the mist, where I think the Viscount is, I think that's the one that's way deeper in, like south of here, like near in the deep forest near the mountains.
I think we
Yeah.
need to go there first.
That's what I saw too. But what if
If anyone's
the
gonna get peace treaties going, it's gonna be the Viscount.
but what if the cabin with the chest in it is a place where like there might be like a quest item or something? You know, that's a thing I read about in books sometimes.
Okay, so those are what we call flights of fancy that we can worry about secondary.
No,
Questions
I
come
mean,
first.
the sleeping tree wouldn't have shown me the house if it wasn't important. I just
Yeah.
don't know how to get there.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I'm not arguing its importance. I'm not. I'm just saying that first and foremost, if I'm correct, right, we need peace treaties to get going to get the prince, the queens and kings, the royalty to care about the nature side, right? And in order to do that, we need the Viscount. So I do believe in order to save both this spirit here in this nature, as well as the people living are in the surrounding area, we may need to do that one first. And then worry about trying to find out where it is, or perhaps we discover it along the way. I'm sorry, Fluke. What were you about to say? I keep interrupting you.
It seems we're in this sort of situation where both are reasonable in the way that,
Oh,
in,
I know.
yes, that the chests may allow us to more easily defeat the hags, but they may be easier to achieve after they've been dispatched. Not to mention, the Viscount's no longer in danger, so it's got each has its pros and its cons.
Is the Thunderlight clan on the way to this other place where we think the Viscount is?
We usually don't travel that far south, but if we can, I'm sure they'll help.
So I got so
And-
where would it be in relation? Where's the Thunderlight clan?
He'll actually, give me 1 second.
For 1
Because
second.
my thoughts are, if it's kind of anywhere along the line of going towards the it is on the way towards the destination.
Oh, I should make that another color.
That's
then.
fine. So my vote, if it's on the way, go there. Their clan elders might know more about both. And it's on the way, so maybe getting their help to go save the Viscount wouldn't be a bad idea either, because we still don't really have a way of seeing. Like, we still have some magical issues, so maybe his clan might be able to help. Maybe.
It would also suggest it would take an extra day, but we could skip to the original plan, but then go south and move like that. Then we still have 2 of the 3 points, but still move rather quickly to the mist.
I mean, I trust the wisdom of the sleeping tree to know that it's that last one, but you know this forest better than I do. If you think that's the way to go,
I'm
I'm not going to tell you your
suggesting
forest.
that I believe you that it's at the south one, but if it also showed you a different location, should at least maybe look for that.
Did that second location, the one with the chest, it looked like it was closer in the thinner parts of the trees,
Yeah.
which would line up where the clan is, so that's closer to the edge of the forest. Also, when I saw the vision, did it look anything like any of the other destinations on what it could have looked like? Does it look like it might have fit any of the other destinations at all?
It is difficult to say because but the last one you had, like with the mist, you had like this bird's eye view and you could very well see the surrounding area.
Yeah.
But with the cabin it was much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is that you do notice that the 3 other areas are all kind of close to some form of mountain, and you didn't see anything of that with the cabin.
Pete, did you see any mountains near the cabin?
No, I did not.
All these other places are near mountains. I didn't see any mountains. I'm not sure if it's where the hags are.
I'm not sure either, but it must have been important, right? I mean, if you saw it, then I saw it.
I mean, it had so little energy. Just answering my questions was breaking its illusion. I don't think it would have shown us nothing that wasn't important.
Again, I
I
don't
think so too.
disagree with it. I just say that we look for the place on the way to where we think the Viscount is.
And if I'm saying, if we think the Viscount is down here
Yes.
and we're here,
Yes.
perhaps we can go to the Thunderlight clan to let their elders know, and they can start letting other clans know about the coming fire, and maybe they can send us some help to also get the Viscount.
I misunderstood OOC what you were saying. In that case, then yes, of course.
Whereas
apologies.
Thargrak was saying maybe we should go to this other site and then down here.
I actually thought I think I agree with Hephe on this one. If this is such a big deal that this spirit is using the last of its energies to do this, to warn us, now that somebody's made its way in that it can warn, right? I mean, how often does it come around a group of adventurers that it know can make it back to warn somebody? I'm just saying that perhaps this is at least merits, because we know for a fact, because of the tree, that he's down here, right?
That's what I saw, Teak, right?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so. I mean, I saw 2 things. I saw a cabin with a couple of chests in it, and one chest seemed really, really interesting. And then I saw like a different piece of the mountains and the woods, and it was like very dark, and there was like mists and stuff, and it looked really ominous.
And that's
So-
where the Viscount was?
I don't know. I didn't see the Viscount. I could only interpret what I see, and well,
Wait, so
yeah,
how do we believe the Viscount is there?
I mean, we was asking about where the Viscount was, and it seems to be one of the 4 spots that we thought he might be.
Okay, so it showed you this place in response to you asking where the Viscount was.
Yeah, and it also showed us the cabin when I was asking about that too. So or maybe
I
the
see.
cabin has to do with itself, its past.
I don't know, but what I do think is that we need to at least get the message out there and travel along the outside path and to the Lightfoot clan, the Thunderlight clan, and get it going get that message going, because if that ends up being something that doesn't happen, like we don't make it back because of these night hags, this thing just gave the last of its energy to send out a warning that never gets received.
I agree on that. Yeah. Is there a way we can send a message without it taking a couple of days just to talk to someone?
Does anyone have a familiar that can fly with a note?
Sending stone?
No one has that. Wait, maybe.
Maybe, I mean, Thargarok might, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say wait, maybe.
Not sure if Thargarok has anything like that.
DM deciding.
I don't think he has. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like there would be some logic to him to communicate with his clan, but
Yeah, as a
I would say he
representative,
doesn't.
right?
He no, because he was earlier talking about sending messages back and forth through messengers, so
Yeah.
then he also wouldn't have sending stones.
Makes sense.
Well, on that note, then I don't suppose anyone has sending. I look at the only full caster we have.
I'm just shaking my head.
Well, hmm. 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 Yeah, I just.
I might be able to make something, but it could take a pretty long while.
Thargarok, how long do you think it would take to get to your clan from here?
See him look around a bit. Another 2 days maybe, if we hurry, maybe a bit shorter.
I think you should start leading the way then, unless anybody else has a better idea.
Asri sighs and then says, "Do we want to do a march again and just get this out of the way? It seems rather important, and the haste may do us well."
Can we get there by nightfall?
I will say that somehow at exactly that same moment, Decorm will start coughing a lot, and he still looks very sick.
Oh, DM like, nah,
No
not
marching.
happening.
Yeah,
No
that
marching.
makes sense.
Got it.
Like,
That makes
unless
sense.
you want to drag Decorm with you, it's not gonna.
Hold on, with my 7 strength, maybe.
All right. Then 2 days travel.
Sure.
And it's on our way, so I guess that's a double win, and we're not gonna waste our time by going to all the other ones. So I think as far as net travel time, we're gonna come out ahead. So
Depending on how
these hooves
important
were meant
that
for
last
galloping.
one in the corner is.
This time Asri rides on top of you.
Also, I'm gonna look at Teak. Teak. Is
Yeah.
you're one of these? You came from over these mountains, right?
Yeah, I did, but I mean, I can't really remember anything from it. I was just a baby when I was found by my Dutch Quinn can't find the English word for something
Parents?
that Teak would definitely know. Foster parents, that was the word.
Yeah.
That
I mean-
was a beautiful moment, and I thank you for it.
Okay, well then never mind. And I guess while we're traveling, I'm gonna be looking for any kind of signs of like gnomish or other signs of like nature-based civilization that we could we could go stop in at and let people know along the way if there's any like small tribes or clans, or start spreading the word
Okay.
while we're traveling to the Thunderlight clan, or if Thargarok knows of any clans along the way that are like major clans along the way to his post, his camp.
You actually say, well, we'll probably pass through them, but there's the names.
Because that
Give me
might be a
one
good
quick
place to like spend the night
moment.
if we can find a clan to post up in.
They don't always live there. They travel a lot, but there is a clan of Tritons and Sea Elves that sometimes make camp at the or not make camp, but they have a space where they live alongside the river.
Do you think we
Even
could,
if they're not there, we could maybe sleep in their huts.
Do you think we could get there by nightfall?
If we, well, maybe not before nightfall, but
What would that be?
relatively early in the night, it should be possible.
All right,
Enough
well,
to be able to sleep there. Is what I'm hearing.
I think we know where we're going then, Tharagarak. Can you lead the way?
I was assuming that it was while walking, that he was already.
Yeah.
Yeah. But lead the way specifically to there versus
Yeah.
towards his clan now. Guide, can you guide us to the new place we're talking about instead of the old place we were talking about? Thanks, darling.
It's basically on the way. It's a small detour.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I suggest we go and break.
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be a great place for a
Break
break.
time. First, I gotta.
All right, so I see it's 1:21 now.
disconnect.
What time do we want to be back?
20 minutes again.
The dystopian future that we wanted is
We
here.
got it. Nice. Where's my
Good.
motorbike?
Now, where's my fantasy world where I'm with a centaur and a minotaur and sea elves?
No,
Well, no,
that
hang
I
on.
can actually give you.
That's,
Come on,
that's gotta
people.
happen
Sea
after
elves.
the
That
nuclear
sounds
radiation
great.
mutates life on Earth.
Sea elves.
Mutation has to happen first. Nuclear
No,
radiation.
magical
No.
fantasy, non the same world.
Just
Sea
close your
elves.
eyes and
These
listen
raptures.
as you're traveling
nature.
through the sleeping forest, led
Ralgo-
by your Minotaur friend.
Yes, and I'm right beside him,
Ralgo,
clipping
why
and
do you want to just
cloppeting.
play Adventure Time? Why?
And actually, as you are traveling, he will look over his shoulders. Do any of you have any berries or fruits with you?
I
I do.
have 13 rations total. Would any of those have any?
Yep, dried fruits.
Yeah.
Did we have any difficulties spending rations to get here, or did we? Were we able
No.
to...
This would be quite quickly actually after your previous conversation.
Like, I mean, like, as far as like getting to where we were the past couple of days, were we spending rations or were we able to forage food? Okay.
I think we'd be spending some ration.
You've spent your ration during the forest rest, so you've spent one more ration previous to because the last rest I think everyone marked their rations.
Yep, that's why I
Yeah.
only
So
have the
when we
13.
were in the grove, we
Yeah,
spent
you
a
probably
ration.
would have had another ration.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure we're keeping track of everything. Then, I mean, I'm
That's
assuming some of
12
my
total.
rations would be berries. Why not?
I'm down
Yep.
to 7.
So yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
so
some berries.
There would be
Multiple.
some dried berries and fruits there, and he'll nod and say, "Okay, we might keep an eye out for fresh fruits or berries that we see in the forest somewhere. It's a custom between our clans to bring food if we come across each other's lands."
And it's not a meat-based custom, correct?
Not necessarily. They usually bring like fish or something from their clan, and so we bring something we forage. Sometimes there's meats there, but
I get it.
Not
No, I
often.
understand now.
Then can I roll survival to find something that we can hunt or forage that would meet that
yeah.
that objective?
I would like to do the same.
I'm gonna do
If
it the same
possible.
way as the perception check. So, 2 people can make perception checks to see if you're still being followed, as you've previously done, and 2 people can make survival checks and look for berries or fruits.
Okay, so
I'm
I'm on
interested in
perception. then.
survival.
I'm gonna say if you want me on anything, you want me on. My perception's a 3.
Well,
and my
there's
survival's a
4 of
1.
you, so
Yeah, I have a survival of
Yeah,
a
you definitely
perception
need
of 7.
perception. I just think we probably want Hephe on. Yeah.
I'm equally good in both, so.
Oh god!
Okay, well, let's hope my roll is better than.
Wait, halfling luck. It's an ability check. I can
That's
reroll.
true.
you can.
Do it.
Yep.
So that's
25.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's a lot better.
perception,
Every-
perception.
Freaking halflings.
I'll do the survival.
The
Yeah.
tiny terror.
Hey, that's good.
Well,
survival,
hey.
team. High five.
Yeah.
With those perception checks, I am going to say that it is literally luck that at some point, as you're traveling, you trip and fall, and as you look, you see that you fell over a snake, and as you kind of shoo it away, you accidentally hit it with your foot, and it just dissipates instead of moves away.
Oh.
Azri just is on the ground, like as she trips and she
Wait.
kicks it and it dissipates and she just starts. You guys audibly hear her just. It was a snake! It was a goddamn snake this time! And she pops up. Son of a bitch!
What
Okay.
was?
I told you I shot a snake last night. Were you not listening?
I was, but I thought it would change it up. Bird, then snake, something like. Oh, maybe there were. No, it's just.
I mean, it might have been a badger. Let's be fair. That's inconclusive.
I don't know. Yeah, Tika's on your back.
Just confirming.
So, with
Yeah,
that,
sure.
so was a 20 and a 19 in survival.
We're looking together, girly. Let's do it.
A bit later, after you found the snake, Ezra, the two of you note a bit in the distance a couple of apple trees,
Ooh.
and with Teak standing on Ezra's back, you can just pluck a couple.
Fuck yeah.
Tika standing on Azri's back is almost the same size as Decorum.
True.
She's standing on my shoulders. How about that?
No,
Yeah.
no, I was making. Never mind.
No, I'm holding
Hephe
her
is
feet
different
on my
than Azri.
shoulders. Now she can get the special good fruit at the very tippity top of the tree.
That's been
Oh,
beaten
this
by
one
Property
birds.
looks
for the
really
property.
juicy.
And then I'm gonna even lift her up so she can get even the top tippity top of this apples. How about that? Yeah.
Tippity toppity from the clippity cloppity.
All of the apples from those trees.
So, what roll a d20, both of you?
Ooh.
Who, us?
Yeah. It'd be a good number. Fudge.
There we go.
I'm assisting. I'm not collecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you want, you can have up to 18 apples from the trees.
18
And
apples.
if you want to take less, that's also a possibility.
Take them all.
Well, hold on. How much would be a good offering? Because we don't want to upset the forest spirit by being too greedy.
No, take them all.
The Thargorak will say, we're not with many, so they won't expect a large offering. With these apples, like one per person would be okay. I mean,
Don't you want an apple
you can
too,
still,
Ash?
yeah, as he says, you could still eat. You could still take them to eat if you want to.
Yeah, Fluke's already biting into one. It's like, well, if you don't need that many, just crunch.
Crunch.
I mean, I think we should take them all, so that way, worst case, we eat them,
Okay.
and it's not wasting it. It's using nature's resources.
Hey, I
It is-
agree.
It's not
You'll
resources.
actually
It's
take
nature's
apples
bounty.
and I'm gonna try
Harvest?
to make some apple pie.
It's
Look,
you're thinking in the right way, Ezra, but apples are meant to be eaten.
I
Fluke
agree.
is
Hey. Like I said, I'll make some apple pie. Let's go.
Fluke is just going patoo. He's just shooting the seeds around like it's a watermelon.
I just want to give Thargorak the look of look at a person trying to tell the nature people what to do. Just kind of that face of like,
Don't you
look
sit
at this, look
explaining
at this,
to
this
me.
is cute.
He
I don't know if I have to roll anything for that.
no.
but that's-
He gives you a bit of a look back as you see him feel quite accomplished of himself of being able to tell Esri that it's fine, as it were.
I'll give him a thumbs up on that one. Hey man, he's just like me.
No, I get it. I
Hope
I stepped
future
out of
leader.
my zone. I stepped out of my
We got-
zone.
No. I don't even care if you notice it. I'm just like bonding with this guy.
Okay. And with that, you travel for the rest of your day. As it gets quite late, close to midnight, you find yourselves at a quite calm and slow-moving river, but it is quite, what do you say, it's big or It's a long way across. And as you look around, you see a couple of small huts standing. And for a moment you think like, is this it? Is this the village? But as you look further, you see in the walls of the river there's also holes made, and as you look underwater you can see like, you see it vaguely, but parts of like structures that are standing in the river.
And I guess I'll look at Thargarok to see what he wants to do. He's the guy that's
He
familiar with the situation.
grabs the apples that you prepared, and he adds some of the other fruit, dried fruits to it, and he just throws them in the river.
Oh, just straight up into a river. Okay.
And he looks back at you and says, "We should wait for a moment. There's almost always at least one person here, unless there's something wrong, but there shouldn't be." And let's make perception checks.
Same rule,
Just
with only 2,
Everyone
or
this time?
This time everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Or everyone who's looking at the fruits, I should say.
Whoops,
Yeah.
sorry.
Fluke is
Wrong
not
I
looking at the
see.
fruits.
19 and a 20 out of at least 2 of us. Let's go.
So everyone except for Fluke, who is just more busy checking out the village itself, I'm gonna say. The
I rolled
rest
a
of
10 on
you,
perception.
Well, just for
uh,
fun, I'm gonna skip a rock and see how far it goes. That's what I'm gonna be paying attention to.
Can you not insult them?
all of you with the 10, I'm still gonna say, including Teak. You see one by one. Maybe Teak just sees a little bit later than the rest, but the fruits suddenly like go underwater, like a fishing rod
Like-
being pulled in.
It disappeared!
Like
Disappeared!
we see the berries,
Where did
and
it
then
go?
he sees the apples,
Yeah,
or she sees the apples.
basically that.
Cool.
And once they've all disappeared, a moment passes, and then a Triton woman appears on the around the shores and climbs up. And she looks at all of you and is not what I was expecting.
Have I ever seen a Triton before in my travels?
Have I?
I haven't.
For Hephe, make I'm gonna say survival.
Okay.
For Ezra, well, I'm gonna just has Ezra been in Ruble before?
Yes.
Then yes, then you've probably seen Tritons before.
Okay. She's just
I think
like,
that
"Oh,
would also mean I've seen Tritons before.
Yeah.
okay. So something I haven't been aware of.
You know them mostly as nomads in this area of the world.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
So I rolled a 16. Have I ever seen something like this before?
With a 16, I'm gonna say you not anywhere near where your clan is, but in your travels you've met one or two of them.
Okay, so not a totally new creature that I've never seen. Good to know.
Have I ever heard of Tritons?
Maybe from Decorm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Wow, you're really blue. Are all of you guys so blue? You're a Triton, right?
She'll laugh at that, and she'll look at you and says, "Yes, we." And she's a little bit confused. And says, "It's expected reaction from a human."
Oh, I'm not a human, I'm a gnome.
I can see that. That's why I'm surprised.
Well, I mean,
And she starts speaking, but then she notices Thargorak, and she gives him not really a bow, but a respectful nod. What brings you here? Last time we met, I believe you were leaving for some Dragonborn outpost? And Thurek will respond and yes, I'm on a mission from them, but we must warn my clan and maybe even yours as well. And he points at Hephe and says, my centaur friend here had a vision before. And she'll look expectantly at you, Hephe.
Also, we kind of wanted to see your underwater world. It sounded really fun.
She'll look at the river and she says, well, as long as you don't break anything, you can jump in anytime you like.
And she immediately jumps in.
Okay.
This works
Zeke
perfectly
jumps into
for
the
me.
river.
Asri is not far behind. She's jumping in too. She wants to. She's like, I don't know how to swim, but I'm willing to learn. But
Lucas is like rubbing the bridge of his brow, just like
she knows.
like I know
how to do
we're in safe areas, but rule just water here. Oh god.
I'll get to that later.
I'm charming as fuck. Deal with it.
it. Come and fucking deal with it.
I
Wonderful.
got the highest charisma score.
Wait, what's your charisma?
16.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll look at has she been named yet?
Oh, she is Lohanan, the guardian of this outpost.
Lohanan?
You will type in chat for us.
Yeah,
right?
I will.
Yeah.
Loranan. Okay.
Loranan.
Loranan.
And this is what outposts?
It basically
Do we get
what's
a
his
name?
face
Of the outpost?
would have explained this on the road here. Thargrak would have explained this. They have about 4 or 5 villages across the shores, and each one of them is guarded by the guardian of that village, usually some form of powerful druid or something similar, who in their absence will make sure that no harm or trespassers come here. And since she's the one who responded and you didn't see anyone else, you can also assume that the rest of the clan isn't here right now.
The rest of the clan isn't here right now.
Yeah, there are nomads.
Okay, I will splash Teak in the face with water then.
I will giggle and splash back.
I assume that's what we're doing in the background while the rest of the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
One of the part is having a beach episode,
Yep.
and the rest is communicating with God.
With God? She's a god?
Yeah, I was like, hold on.
Yeah,
she's a
no,
god,
sorry,
hold
the
on.
tree was God
Yes.
Okay.
in this analogy.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
I mean, isn't that D&D
I am
in a
much more
nutshell?
respectful in my demeanor now.
Yeah, like that changes the
No,
exact aspect of what we were thinking was going on here. Like,
Yeah,
hold on.
No, she's just the guardian of this
Yeah,
village.
just a guardian, yeah. Well, hello there, Loranan. I am Hephe of the Silver Blossom clan. I recently had a vision with a sleeping tree, and there's a great flame coming soon that's going to sweep the entirety of the land, and we must be ready for it. Otherwise, we might all die.
That is quite the vision.
Yes, the spirit used most of its energy to be able to communicate that to us, as well as where the night hags are that's holding the Viscount of the Snoozing Watch. We are currently trying to save him to help.
She looks at Thargrek and says, Viscount is someone important, I imagine? And he just nods. Is
Oh, titles.
well,
Unnecessary.
once
Like,
my clan returns here, I can pass on your message. Though they should be more south right now, so
That's
the-
where we fear the great fire will come from.
in she nods, as it does in most of the stories. And she looks at Thargarek again and she says, could I ask you to send someone of your clan to travel to our southern camps and pass along this message? And she grabs her staff and plucks this. It looks like the teeth of some creature, but it isn't obvious what type of creature. And she hands it to Thargrek. This way, they will know to trust the message that I've heard of it, or approve of it. And she looks at Hephe again. He says, you're not from around here, are you?
No, I come from the Lost Swamp.
Oh, that's really quite far.
Yes,
How are the
I am-
centaurs doing there?
Yes,
We
that
had-
is what the Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We had understood that they had been extinct for a while now.
That's what we thought of the Minotaurs. Just legend.
Well, and she just looks at the ground for a moment. She says, we didn't see your kind as legends, but as history more so."
Perhaps that is what I saw from the vision at the Lifeless Lake. There were centaurs there once.
And she nods as you say that.
I see. Well, I can tell you that I standing here, there are other centaur clans in the Lost Swamp. Life found a way.
That is good to know. And she says that genuine, like, how to say it? Like happy there's some good news, as it were.
Yeah, relieved. I look at her and I was like, do you know of any spirits in the area?
Well, when she passes through, the guiding current is here.
Can
But
you...
my clan follows her wherever she travels.
I understand, so once your clan knows, the guiding current will know as well.
And she nods at that.
Do you mind if we stay at your village tonight to rest? We are traveling to the Thunderlight clan to see if they
Yeah.
know anything more of another part of the vision that I and Peak, who's the gnome over there, having a beach episode. We saw a little a hut or a small house building with chests in it. And we're trying to find that as well.
No. That doesn't sound familiar. To be fair, when the clan's not here, I don't move away very far.
That makes sense. You must keep your charge.
Exactly. So, um, well, then she nods at Thargoraxes. They should be at least able to. They know the lands down south a lot better than I do.
That's what we hope. Perhaps some of their elders will know of such a location. Such a place.
You'll be welcome to stay the night here. And she now also takes a look at Ezra and Teak. Except for having a water fight, are you doing anything?
At one particular moment, Teak will have crawled up back on the rocks and will have shouted, "Cannonball!" and will have jumped back into the water and tried to make the biggest splash that she can.
Asri will eventually get out and go and well, besides setting up to and everything, where's my character?
And another thing, DM, how many new types of fish did I see
After that
Two
cannonball,
types
none.
of fish.
before the cannonball?
New types of fish, I'm gonna say not many. But you did see a couple of small fish that were swimming around until the two of you arrived.
Nice.
Asri will eventually just start doing laps to put in, since we've got water, training for that feat of the Weapon Master.
Lornan will say, they seem quite lively. If you don't mind, I will see you this morning. I'll return to my rest.
I thank you.
Bye.
And is there anything that we can do to repay you for letting us stay?
And let me stay when I'm at your camp. And she
Fair.
smiles at that and walks back into the water.
It's a deal.
Nothing like rolling upon an old friend and they're like, hey, we owe you a free camp stay.
By this time, Teak will have crawled out of the water and will be wringing out her hair and saying "Wow, she's really nice, isn't she?"
We brought the apples.
Yes,
Blah, blah,
she seems to
blah,
be a
blah.
friend of the centaurs. Apparently, I learned that there used to be a lot more of us. They thought we were all dead.
Wow. That must be pretty rough for you, I guess, right? But you aren't dead, right?
No, life found a way.
Found a way.
So, do I detect any hidden subtext in that last life finds a way?
No, that's just my thing.
Okay.
That's just his favorite phrase.
catchphrase.
Yeah, okay.
If there's ever a thing that says if you're cursed based on what your most used phrase or whatever, it's definitely that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm loving that bit of RPing of you, by the way, as well.
Mwah.
I would like to ask DM if before she goes to bed, Asri could start to get together supplies for her brewer's supplies and stuff to start a brew.
What kind of supplies would you get in
She's just trying to make a
out of
basic
here?
ale.
Yeah, but
So I guess
you're
wheat,
you're
barley,
in
hops.
an empty village in the middle of the forest.
I was hoping that there would be honestly supplies that I could maybe filch some off of to use.
At least for the
Yeah, they don't have supplies,
cottages at the shores, they are completely empty.
Gotcha.
Like they have walls, but all the rooms are like not even beds or anything.
Gotcha. Never mind then. These are literally just walls for people to put up their tents and be or put it in their sleeping bags and not have to worry about tents and stuff. Gotcha. Makes sense. They're sea elves. Okay.
And do I still carry some of the redwood with me?
Yeah.
That we got earlier. All right, then I would have took out like a piece as big as my fist, more or less, and I would just start shaping it. And basically, for the first night, you don't see that much. It's just more like pebble shaped before I go to bed.
Okay. Anything else anyone is doing before going to bed?
I'm gonna sleep next to a river. That's it.
Okay.
I will cuddle Hephe next to the river.
Okay. As the night passes, I'd like all of you to make a perception check with disadvantage.
I was doubting. I was so in two minds about doing shifts, night watches.
19. Let's go.
So,
Plus 7.
Hephe, Teak, and Fluke. For you, you just have a very restless night, and once you wake up, maybe even a couple of times during the night, you wake up in like a cold sweat, and when you fall asleep again, it's again very nightmarish. Ezra, for you the same thing, but the first time you wake up, you see a face that immediately, as soon as you open your eyes, disappears. But as you look around, you see next to Hephe, you see like this spectral visage of someone, like almost like cradling him. And then, as soon as it noticed that you noticed it also disappears.
I try to wake Hephe up, honestly. Hephe?
Once it disappears, am I thrashing more, or like, am I like?
No,
is it helping my nightmares or causing my nightmares? Or,
it's causing your nightmares. Like
Okay.
when it disappears, Hephe starts like breathing a bit more slowly and kind of like calming down.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I try to wake Hephe up a little bit.
Huh? Huh?
Hephe.
Yeah.
Sorry to wake you up.
Yeah.
Are you okay, first of all? How are you feeling?
I was having a really bad dream.
Yeah, there was some sort of ghost lady cradling you.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we should take some shifts on keeping watch.
I'm gonna splash into the water.
Okay, yeah, because you're right next to the lake.
Yeah, I'm gonna splash the water and try to get Loredon's attention.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, this is her territory. She's gonna know anything. It's gonna be her.
Fair enough, but she might be asleep right now. While you do that, I will go and wake someone with dark vision, aka Fluke, up.
What? Just like back her from under the pillow. What now?
There was some sort of ghost. Were you having any bad dreams?
We were trying to like grasp with them, just like, yeah.
Okay, so there was some sort of ghost lady causing Hephe to have bad dreams, and he was like thrashing about. And so I've got him awake, and I think we should do shifts. Hefe's trying to get Lornon's attention right now to see if he can ask him about anything, but I think that some shifts may be needed. And I apologize to throw you under that bus, but you got that dark vision there, and I was going to ask if you want, I guess I realized I should have probably waited to wake you up at the end of my shift. Apologies.
Just out of curiosity, DM, like, how much sleep have we gotten since the this
Yeah.
started?
A pretty decent amount. You went to bed quite late, so it's at this point it's getting close to sunrise.
Okay.
Like, I can probably manage. Yeah, sure.
Well, in that case, I figure if you want to take just a couple hours while it's still dark, I can take the couple hours while once the sun starts to come up, when it starts to become light.
Yeah, that's. We really shouldn't trust anyone to watch our backs, considering we've. And I know we had the lady in the area, but you know he's our charge. Yeah, I'm gonna go charge. I'm tired. Our charge did get kind of swiped in a busy hotel.
So I'm going to ask them that, yes, since we'd be in the third or fourth, I'll just ask that he takes watch 3 then, and then I get to take watch 4.
Okay.
He'll quickly just toss on his gear, does a nice lickety split, and then stretches and gets out, just like, yeah.
And Hephe, while they are having a conversation, as you start splashing the water, you see on the other side of the river, you see a fake light appear, and when it appears, you also see the figure of Loranon.
The light turns into Lornon?
No, she
The silhouette?
kind of like reveals where she is as she was standing in the darkness.
Oh, okay. And I'll say, Lornon, did you see what just happened?
You know what? Would she have that spell? You hear her voice in your head as she sends you the message. They came from a mist. I've chased the mist away, but I don't know. I've never seen something like this.
That's always great.
Do I feel like I can respond in my head?
Yes.
Do I feel like I'm limited in my response?
Message is a unique spell, I suppose. I don't know.
If it's message or sending, hopefully she knows message. Sending, so
I'm not sure because I think message is still
I'm just
limited,
saying,
right? You can't just make an entire story or something, but
I just want to know what. I just
You
want to
can
know
reply
if
just
my
message.
character knows of any limitations. If he feels like he can respond, I just want to
Yeah,
know what my
you-
character would
you
experience.
can
in this.
respond. I'm gonna say you can say like one or two phrases, as it were.
Okay, so I heard I heard it talking about the mist and driving it away. Learn on. So I'm gonna say, the sleeping tree showed us the mist, and we think that's where the night hags are. The night hags have the Viscount who we're finding. We think.
It remains quiet for a moment, and then you get a message back. It says, "The forest is restless. Not even the dead may rest when this mist is here. They seem to have some. If these are these night hags, they seem to have some form of control over the undead or the deceased in this area."
What do you think we should do?
That depends on how important this Viscount person is.
Larry?
Then stick to your plan, find find the Thunder Clan, and let's see how they can help.
Do you think we'll be safe till sunrise?
I don't know. I know I won't be sleeping till sunrise.
I'm gonna look at her. I'm gonna say, how strong are you?
Missed away.
You did get the mist away, but I mean, hey, I don't know what that means. Or I don't know what the mist
Right.
is. I don't know anything. So, Look.
I think. Oh no, wait. You're also from the forest, so I would say I've a natural gift with magic. Say I was blessed by the currents when I was born. How powerful am I? I'm powerful enough to guard this village at my own.
and I'll just nod at that, and then I'll go to Asri once, and then depending on where that is in the scene, I guess I guess we're just both done with our scenes and we meet up.
Yeah, meet up.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Fluke's gonna take the first watch, and then I'll
Azri-
take a second.
Oh, okay, Asri.
Yeah.
That was the mist. Lornon
Okay.
drove it away,
Okay.
so she's gonna stay up and try to keep the mist away if it comes back. But she thinks we should just keep doing what we're doing, but she doesn't know if we'll be safe till sunrise. But
Yeah.
she said that she'll keep watch. She'll keep an eye out, and she drove the mist away last time, so I think she can do it again. She's pretty strong. Her whole village trusts her to watch over this place while they're all gone by herself. So I believe in her.
I do as well, but it's never a bad idea to have a second person helping you out.
You're not
So-
wrong.
So Fluke will take the first watch, and if she's just gonna watch through the dawn while we're all resting, then I will join her on the second.
Okay. I'll just go back to the river and fall asleep.
Okay.
Alrighty. Asri will join Hephe at the river.
Then now everyone except for Fluke is sleeping, right?
Correct.
And I guess the trident.
Yeah, and the trident, but she's also on the other side of the river.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then I'd like everyone except for Fluke to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great.
Oof. Is it a
Here we
normal?
go.
Let's go.
Good so
19
far.
On the dot. I wise tonight.
Nice. The dreams continue to be restless and horrifying in some cases, but as you're sleeping, as you feel like something trying to get into your mind, as it were. It feels like something is attacking you while you're trying to sleep, but the three of you manage to resist it. And from Fluke's perspective, you kind of spend most of your watch trying to switch between looking to everyone, because if you're not looking for like 20 seconds at someone, a spirit will appear again. But as soon as you look at them, they disappear.
I'm basically just running back and forth, just like checking. Like I'm basically 5 nights at fretting this, just like no,
Basically,
no,
yeah.
like no, go away. You know what? If anyone's gonna do that, it's the rogue. I'm speedy.
It's true.
I can go 90 feet in a turn.
Wow.
In a span of 6 seconds.
I'm behind that by 20, I think.
I mean, you could go pretty fast if you step in the wind, but that means a key point. No resources.
You're right. I suppose I could keep point and go and add in third on that.
Yeah.
Right now I've got speed at 35, so that's the thing, Monk. So we were fast too.
Yep. You're just
That's why Monk and Rogue make a decent combo
can,
wombo.
Rogues will win a marathon, but monks will win a sprint. That's how it goes.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So, as he wakes up,
I go to. I'm sitting around watching hardcore.
I guess just for the sake of it, since the inspiring leader ability is based on who it affects and not how many times you use it, Fluke will, while he's running, he'll be just like murmuring to himself and hyping himself up. Got this, you got this, you got this.
As the sun
Totally
rises,
something he would
Fluke, you wake up Ezra. And do you go to bed yourself?
I mean, especially if they don't. I'll just be like, okay, I guess I get a nap in. Just you're gonna have to be running to everyone most of the time. It's not too hard, but those those ghost things keep popping up.
Stretching. Stretching. Getting ready.
Then Fluke make a wisdom saving throw with advantage. As Ezra, during your watch, you notice that as the sun is rising, they start appearing less and less. And up to a point where you see a last one somewhere in the shadows, but then disappearing as well.
This is literally my lowest saving throw.
Roll it.
nice.
Thank you.
And with a 20, you also feel something like trying to get to you while you are sleeping, but you manage to resist it as well.
At 8. Oof.
Now, what about Thargorak? How is he looking?
He looks like he had a rough night, but I think he will actually, as he wakes up, or when everyone's woken up, he will actually like loudly complain about these underhanded tactics of the witches to try and get to him in his sleep.
I know you're watching, you fuckers.
Literally doing that. They have no honor. Oh, I love it. He's a freaking warrior minotaur Chad for good. I love it.
Alright, hi-ho, let's go.
As you all awake, the river is a bit cold, but it is easy to pass. It isn't a fast streaming river where you can just kind of swim across.
Fine.
And a very tired Lorenon will, she's trying to be pleasant about it, but you notice that she will be happy when you're gone and this undead stuff is over.
I'll just give her kind of like a smile and a nod as we leave.
Yeah, I don't have anything I could give her that's cool that she'd like.
The only thing I could give her is a 10-minute pep talk. That's what I could give her. But I think she's gonna go the fuck to bed.
I'll cast her guidance to fall asleep. Or her sleep check.
Let's go.
Speaking of 10-minute pep, I just like, okay, so they kept appearing. It was almost like a game. I basically got like a little exercise track while you guys were sleeping. It was...
Yeah, it was a nice old fun whack the spirit round.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I also feel like I should let you guys know whenever we start fighting things again. I remember just one of my so like I, I've I've been raised around kobolds, so I don't really know the culture, but I know we're supposed to be cowardly as heck. So I did I like catching people off guard. If you ever see me like dipping and just like grabbing at them and just like begging for my life, that's pretty much your green light to fuck them up. He says, just kind of giving a thumbs up.
Got it. So if you're ever begging for your life, help you. Understood.
Well, more fuck up whatever's around me, because that's what we call a distraction.
I
I'm very good at
understand
it.
what a distraction is, Luke. I just appreciated the way you said that. And she's gonna put up for a high five and like, I was honestly just beautiful right there. Thank you.
Just, like bam, just like you like I may not have the like I guess full-balled cowardliness bred into me, but we're apparently very good at it. Apparently the yipping is really annoying.
I mean, any sound that is repetitive and abrasive is going to be annoying. Like, imagine if I walked around just going all day.
I would probably hit you with a rock, yeah.
You see, if you just go around going all day, people are not. They're just gonna be like, you know what? You can just get out of here. Go away, and flee with your life.
Not
Or
surprised
some
you
might
would-
just kill you immediately on the spot and don't want to hear you begging. It depends on the person, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't keep it going. It's like a quick little, oh, yes, can't kill me, and then I get up and I stab them. 'Cause, yeah.
I mean,
People
as
really
we're
don't like it
traveling,
when toys make that sound too. I tried to make like a screaming dodo once, but it was not a very big success. So I only made the one.
Dodo.
Yeah,
That
I
does sound
refurbished it
horrifying.
actually.
I love it.
I mean, it would be fun to smash against a wall, I'm sure, but that's very, very short-term fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got other stuff for that.
Like the thing that puts holes in people's chests. That was amazing.
Oh well,
I can't
thank
wait
you.
for you to use that on the hags.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but do we want to kill them then? I thought we kind of didn't want to.
No, but it's a one hell of a warning shot for them to be like, hey, we're gonna sit down and talk or we're gonna fight, and then they'll be like, whoa, that's powerful, we don't wanna mess with that. Let's sit down and talk.
Plus, in the end
And
of
that's
the
not how it's
day,
gonna go, but
the end
Yeah,
of the
I
day,
can-
us killing them or not has a lot to do with them.
it's true, and what they've done to the Viscount, to my count.
That as well.
To Tony.
The-
That's true.
The hole in the chest was impressive. Did anyone else see what she did with those zombies? That I liked.
I did not expect a hole in the chest though. I just found a way to conduct and catalyze natural ambient magic present in every part of this world and incorporate it into a wooden construction to reshape the organic matter around it. Wood's a really powerful conductor for magic, you know. That's why wands are often made of wood, and that's why people can feel really energized or intimidated by a walk in the woods. But, so, yeah. Anyway, I basically just capture the residual magic within this earth organic field, and then I use it to do awesome stuff. Like, the force cannon you saw is called Flanagan, by the way. He's just one of a couple of designs I have in prototype right now. And, yeah, the flamethrower you saw earlier, that's another prototype.
Luke's just smiling and nodding like most
Yeah,
of the words.
I was
Yeah.
actually to roll a wisdom check to be like, did she pay attention to all of that?
I
You know
say,
what?
if your intelligence is below 16, you're not gonna understand a word of what she was talking about.
I just wanna. Oh yeah, no. Asri was like, oh, sweetie, that's beautiful. That's amazing. I can't wait for you to use it on the witches.
Well, it's kind of nice to know that the people who are on the receiving end of it actually kind of deserve it, maybe?
That's the point. That's why I said use it on the witches. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the first time using it, you put a hole in a person who's trying to rob us. You know, it's an unfortunate side effect when you try to rob people.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed the Dragonborn died. I really wanted to dress him down and maybe make him change his life, but you know.
Bet you want to dress him down.
Fluke's just gonna like flick his ear, just like, I literally don't know how to respond to that.
It's okay.
So,
Traveling, clippity,
With
clippity,
that-
cloppity.
another day of travel, another round of perception checks.
Oh boy.
Guessing
Oh,
2 this time.
2, yeah, sorry.
All right, let's go.
A round could be a lot, so it's good.
Go gadget perception.
okay. Above 10, 2 above 10. It's half of what matters.
As you are traveling, you just notice some animals, but most of, or like all of them, are behaving quite naturally and trying to avoid all of you, as animals tend to do. But Ezra, as you're traveling, it's a bit later on the day. You hear from behind you. It almost sounds like an extra pair of footprints, and then for a moment you stop to listen a bit further, better, and then you hear like a tree branch snap and someone quickly stepping.
Stabbing or stepping?
Stepping.
Okay. I was like, whoa, I'm being attacked.
That escalated quickly.
Okay.
Unless, like, quickly when we shoot them.
I am going to pull out my long sword, move over to where I heard it. I'm not going to attack, but I'm going to try and see if I can point the person, like, get my sword pointed at them, and be like, who are you and why are you following us?
As you look around,
35.
you have heard a person. You know there's someone there, but no one is like obviously visible.
Gotcha. Yeah, in that case, yeah, she's, if there was no one obviously visible, no one for me to move to, my apologies, I would do that with the longbow and shoot towards the area to, like, kind of just be like, hey, I know you're there, and to draw everyone's attention.
Make an attack roll, not necessarily to hit, but kind of to see how close you get to the area where they're hiding.
Gotcha. Is that regular or disadvantage, just so I know?
Regular.
About average.
Literally on the dice.
Do you say anything while shooting the arrow?
Yeah, saying, don't move and this shouldn't kill you.
I like that.
Like I
Make
said, I'm not
an
wanting to kill.
intimidation check with advantage.
Yeah. I'm not trying to intimidation. Bap.
Saying that, I got the crossbow.
20. Thank you for that.
With a 20, you hear a young human's voice. No, please don't shoot. And about, you'd guess about 16-year-oldish boy, 16-ish or a year old boy. It's a weird sentence.
Approaching
Steps away from one of the tree trunks.
Who are you? And why are
And
you
with his
following us?
hands in the air, he does have a dagger on him, but other than that, he is unarmed.
Once I see that he's kind of unarmed, I kind of give a signal, like I'm trying to get to Fluke to like look around to make sure there's nobody else here and he's not just a distraction.
He's already got the crossbow out, so he'll be looking.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah, I ask him, who are you and why are you following us?
I'm Henry, ma'am.
Henry, ma'am? That's a strange name.
No, ma'am is he thinks I'm
I
old. He's calling
know.
me ma'am.
I know. Just
No,
kidding.
she's explaining to Asri. Or God damn it! Yeah.
I, I'm not allowed to tell you why I'm here.
You're not allowed. Oh. She just kind of walks towards him, blinking, not necessarily angry looking, and she's gonna like look up at him when she approaches because you said he's human, so I imagine he's taller than her, and she's gonna look up and like, I just want to make sure you understand the situation that we're in. That I have a bow, a person over here who can bring you back and heal you no matter if I hurt you a little, and your response to my question of who sent you is and why are you following us is you can't tell us. I just want to ensure that that is your answer.
Make an intimidation check with advantage again.
That's an appropriate way to reply to that.
You can see him swallow and like take a step back. It's, I'm sorry. I wasn't following you. I just happened to go to the same route as me.
Can I insight that to see if he's telling the truth?
Sure.
I would like to do the same.
Of course.
Never mind. He is probably good enough, but fuck it. I said I'd do it. Why are we torturing this poor kid? He seems legit. Hopefully.
Ezra, to you, he seems to he seems to not be lying about following you. How would I put this directly? Better. He hasn't. He is for a different reason here as to follow you, but to you, it seems like he saw a safe way to travel, as it were, by just following you.
Oh, so it looks like he's here in this area for a separate mission, and he just saw a group and was like, hey, groups mean safety. Maybe I should travel behind them?
Yeah, but he does seem, let's say, shady about what his mission is.
Henry? I don't care who sent you at the moment, but I'm going to ask you very specifically, what is your mission?
I need to go to the cabin and find the chest, and from there I will remember the way.
Remember to...
Henry,
so-
we're also looking for that cabin. Do you know where that cabin is?
Sure we are.
He gets terrified but nods.
Can you take us there? We'd really appreciate it. We really like that.
Asri will visibly put her bow and arrow away, and put up her hands, but no weapons. Well, I understand. Okay.
Okay, but you can't tell anyone I showed you.
Henry, you won't even be brought up in conversation. I look at Hephe and Decorm to look them both square in the eye so they understand that he's like, if when I say that, like, guys, I'm saying this on a group and I need to make sure that we're all going to be on the same page with that one.
Cherry gives you the advice to not die.
Yep. Seen it in chat.
I
I love it, Cherry.
I won't tell anyone you helped us.
I mean, to be fair, we did already get some kind of prophetic vision about the cabin. We knew about that before he came here, so that's, meh.
Making sure we're all on the
Also,
same page.
Oh, by the way,
I'll lean into Ezra a little bit and just be like, hey, I think we're good since we haven't seen any familiars around in a while, but I suppose maybe next time might be a good idea to let them deny things verbally and start doing he'll just tap his skull, or your skull a little bit, either way.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Also, I'm not going to have a crossbow out, but he will have his sling, because he does not trust his boy not to run, and he would rather knock him out than let him away.
With back-to-back 220 intimidations, he at this moment his muscles are too crumped up to really run.
Henry,
Oh, we've
which
given this boy.
which chest do you need to open?
The leftmost one.
We need to do that too. Who told you that one?
Mhm.
The people who sent me here.
Who are they?
I can tell you that.
I promise we won't tell anyone you helped us. And he smiles.
This is persuasion, I guess.
Don't make persuasion check.
Kind of depends on the smile.
That's fair. But with Hephe, I assume persuasion check.
You're too nice. You're too nice.
Well, my brother told me to get here. He said I've done it before. I don't remember it. He said I'll remember.
You've done it before?
Fantastic. You know what? Henry? Wait, what time of day is it?
I'd say it's about midday.
Midday. Henry, join us with our march in the group. Walk with us. That way we don't get freaked out by somebody following us. And you can lead us the way to at least near where we're going, since we're all going to that cabin. If this is some sort of life or death mission for you, then maybe we were sent here by the god of this forest, slash deity of this forest, to help you out with your memory problems. All I know is that you sneaking around behind us is going to terrify us, and I will not be held liable for things that terrify me for my life, especially after people have been kidnapped by things sneaking up behind us. You don't know that part. I'm sorry you don't know that part, but that is why we're so jumpy.
And he nods. And
Also, the nightmare spirits.
he,
Oh yes, and the nightmare spirits.
with everything you say, he seems to be more terrified. At this point, you don't have to roll intimidation anymore.
No.
Do you
not
know the tree, the sleeping tree, the lurking tree? You and your brother know that spirit?
Well, there's the big old oak in the village.
No, not that
No.
one.
Is your village a bunch of burn marks?
I hope not.
Not the
I've been
same
only
tree.
away for 4 days. You think something happened?
How far
No.
is it to the cabin?
I should be there at the end of the day.
Well, sounds like you're taking us with you. Let's go.
And he starts very stiffly walking in front, now suddenly also noticing the Minotaur, and he seems to be kind of physically getting a bit smaller.
I'm walking
No.
next to him and have my arm around him. And I'm smiling and I'm nodding my head, bobbing my head back and forth, trying to make him feel better. Like we're not gonna hurt you. We're friends. Let's go to the cabin.
You know how as a kid, adults, even if they were trying to be nice, could still be very intimidating?
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
Well, it's okay. He'll get used to me.
Also, the most ironic thing is, if you're going to be scared of anyone, the smallest ones here are probably the most scary.
Yeah.
That's more of a life lesson for you, kid.
I just kind of smile and nod at that
Centaur
one.
guy
Like,
looks
yeah,
like he could
yeah.
like hurt you with hooves or something, but he's the medic. I'm the one who could, well, I won't go into details.
All
This
right,
is the-
all right. Stop trying to scare the kid. He's clearly terrified enough as it is. He's not going to do anything stupid.
This
Oh,
is
this
the
is-
moment
I'm
where the
actually
smallest
not
one of the
trying to scare him. I'm more giving him education. Education's important.
This is the moment where the smallest of the group will pipe up and say, "So, Do you know what's gonna be in the chest? Because we've only had like visions of it. We never really opened the thing.
He shakes his head, and it says, "There's something in it that will help me remember."
There's something in there that will help you remember why you're gonna open it up.
No, it will help me
His
remember
memory
where
blotches.
what to do and where to go.
Oh, okay. And you're sure about this? How do you know that?
My brother told me.
Who's your
And who's
brother?
your brother?
My brother is my brother.
Does he have a name?
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Can I do that too?
Yeah, of
So
course.
I'm right on top of him as well.
Normal.
Teak, to you, he just doesn't seem to remember the name of his own brother.
Mhm.
Ezra, you see that when he starts thinking about his brother, he seems to kind of get into a lot of the stress in his brain until it kind of just shuts off, and he just starts going like nothing's happening, like nothing happens.
I see. Henry. And I'm going to say this one with concern. Do you have a last name? Family name?
No, I no.
Okay, that's fine. Don't push your brain too hard about it.
You calling me dumb?
No, I'm calling you tired. You've been traveling for 4 days from your village, right? And you said you have memory
Yes,
problems?
yes.
Well, then don't push your brain too much about it until we get to that box and get you your memories back.
I mean, to be fair, I don't have a last name either. He says, just kind of putting his arm around Ezra, just kind of leaning in, just like,
Exactly.
don't
See, maybe you
trust
don't.
this. He's whispering, they don't trust this part, though.
Oh yeah. Well, at this point, she's partially just concerned about his mental state of being, and yeah, she's like, "Oh boy, who did what to this poor child?"
Okay.
Luke's very clearly just like this kid may be more than he seems, and he might try to kill us when he has his memories back. So,
You're
I'm
correct,
gonna be
and
on
she's
edge.
preparing for that.
Luke's just very, lighthearted smiles, but you can tell he's on edge.
I don't trust this. Could be leading us into a trap.
Okay. About I'm gonna say about 2 hours later. The boy points into what seems to all of you seems to be kind of just a random part of the forest, but he points there and he says, it should be around there."
Can I?
And
Go ahead.
since before you were deciding on you wanted to go to the clan first, you
Yeah,
can either
have
go
a
to the
guide.
clan first or
Now
to
that we
the cabin first.
cabin, because we have a
Cabin.
guy cabin, we want to go to the cabin.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clan was let's go to the land because maybe they know something about the cabin, and at the very least we tell them about
And
what's
to
going
spread
on
the word.
and
Yeah.
spread the word. But if we can follow direct path from Spirit, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, because for all we know, this was why the spirit guide told us this was important because we were going to find this guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Okay. As you're traveling,
You are rude, Quinn.
What?
now I want to know in which chat do I have to look?
This
He
word.
knows my humor. It'll be fine.
I know. I didn't say mean. I said rude. That's a whole
Okay.
ass Tarrasque right there.
Oh God, don't even make me think of that.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, who turned into Sips?
As you're
dun dun.
traveling, I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
Oh, these percepciones. Making sure I'm at normal. Cool. 11 fudge.
Fuck.
Can someone else be perceptive for once? Teak, thank you.
You are
Oh my God,
very
I'm
welcome.
speaking. Fluke, fingers crossed. No.
That is my third natural 1 perception check in this game today.
Is it?
Wow.
Can we get F's in the chat, please?
I am looking forward to level 10 where that will become literally impossible.
2.
I
Oh,
will
that's an
put F in the
intelligence.
chat.
That's an insight.
Thank you, Slumperd.
So, as you travel onwards, it takes a while, but suddenly Teak points out that a bit out of the path, but a little bit in the distance, she sees a foot lying.
A foot?
Yeah,
As in Foot.
Yeah.
yeah, as in a human foot.
Also, I guess just for a point of bookkeeping while we're traveling and everything, especially since I can't apparently see shit, I'm going to be focusing on the kid and giving him a pep talk. Now, I don't know if he's too afraid to be inspired. That's your call. But, you know,
She's gonna try.
Fluke's like, well, you know, it won't be enough to, like, save his ass if he turns against us, and so I might try and kill this kid, so, yeah. But I don't know how his fear will play into that, so that's your call. just saying it for the term of bookkeeping.
Yeah, I say you do have a feeling you get through to him.
Yay, 7 temp HP.
Hey guys, that looks like a random foot lying just in the road.
Azri just kind of looks at it like, what?
Fucking gross.
No, you see it over there.
I see it, I just don't want to see it. Why is this a thing that's happening right now?
I don't
Who
know
the
either.
fuck just eats half of a foot? Why didn't they finish it? I think it's like an animal, right?
I mean, maybe
What does
someone lopped off their foot in a trap?
Well, then where's the trap?
Are you getting closer to it, or are you just traveling onward while discussing this?
Does anyone want to approach it?
I mean,
I
if
sure
you,
as hell
I'm the rogue. I'll scout ahead and look at the freaking foot if you'd like.
Have fun. Thank you for your
Yeah.
sacrifice. We'll let the fortune company know. Fortune favors company.
Hates fortune.
I know
You
she's
lush.
I'm ready to charge after him if he dies.
Before he does that,
Yeah. Wow. Wow. A 2 on the
Jesus!
dice.
What is with your rolls? Why are you rolling so bad today, Fluke?
Again, level 10. I will remember this. As soon as I get level up to level 10, I will remember this session.
No, you won't.
So, Fluke, as you start off being pretty stealthy, but as you dart off and you don't notice where you're stepping, and you put your one of your hands in like this pile of blood, and as you're looking at it, it kind of just gets everywhere, and you're standing now kind of in between the two of the foot and the party with literally blood on your hands. And as you look around, you see like multiple body parts lying.
Oh
Oh.
god, I wish I didn't. Oh god.
Do we see him fall?
You kind of see him trip for a moment, and then you hear that.
Fluke, are you
As he's
okay?
getting over there, she's like, Fluke, what's going on? She's got her long sword out, ready to go.
I think the only word this could be like, fucking messy eater, that's what's going on, my Christ.
This isn't an animal. Oh, fuck. I'm assuming I don't see any bite marks or anything on the body, right?
No. Make a medicine check.
Oh.
A fair thing to check.
Like, because I want to know if this is an animal thing, then hey, messy eater, but like...
Yeah, can I make a medicine check as well?
Sure.
17, I'll take it. 24, nice.
With
That
a
close.
17, as you go over it, you do indeed note that these seems to have been like cuts, and this seems to be more of been done with a sword than with teeth. Hephe with a 24, you notice that these most of these body parts are from different people.
Ooh.
Oh.
Can I, in the
This
meantime...
is more than one person?
So can I, in the meantime, check the surroundings to see if I might see some trace of... What
I'll
or
say
whoever.
you can when you do, you notice that in the surrounding area you find more and more body parts, basically.
We just come across a serial killer's private little bungalow. What is the point of this?
Where's Henry in all this?
Yeah, I want to gauge Henry's reaction.
He seems to be blind to it all, and he just. I'll actually even say that he has just completely ignored all of this and has been moving forward while all of you were checking this out.
Henry, where are you going?
What? The cabin is
Hold
this
up
way.
like an arm and like wiggle it at him. Are you not in the least bit curious about this?
Where did you get that? What is that? Is that
What
a
is there to
snake?
see? A snake. I look at the arm in my hand and I look back at him and I would like to insight if this is like a distance thing or what is this?
Make a check.
I'm also gonna look at Quinn, just like, don't you have glasses that like detect magic or something? Because this is concerning.
Yeah,
I was-
18, I'm like, a snake.
Planning on doing that before it sounded like it was a sword that made those cuts.
With the 18, you note that you're not sure if it is a distance thing or if he maybe this is part of like the weird shit that's going on with him, but he does seem genuine in thinking that it's a snake.
I'm
Right.
gonna throw it towards him. A snake. I want to throw it like not on him, but like throw it towards so it'll land and roll towards his feet.
So you're basically throwing a fucking foot to
An arm.
No, an
a
arm.
teenager.
Yeah, I'm
To a
throwing. I'm
surprising
wanting to throw it
teenager.
underhand so it'll land on the ground and roll closer to him. And is like to see like does he still think it's a snake?
He looks at it and he says, "Are you worried about the thing that killed the snake?"
So at this particular moment, Teak is gonna put on those glasses.
Okay.
After
make
taken
just-
back, she's like, you know what? Just give us one moment. There's a bunch of dead snakes here that we're gonna look at real quick and investigate. Just give us one moment, please, Henry.
And she takes like a quick scan of her surroundings, and also she's looking if she can see any trace of a spell around Henry.
Yeah. Like,
But yeah,
so
Fluke's
he's
like, this is either something with him or something with us. It's probably him, but I want to know.
It's detect magic, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Should I
You
post
notice. Yeah, sure. With it, when you focus on Henry, I'd say that his mind has been, I guess, overwhelming with enchantment magic. It's like you, as part of one of your classes, you've probably like used detect magic while someone else casts charm person on someone, so you have an idea of the effect that it has on people. And this seems like much worse than you've ever seen during those classes.
There was
But
this
when
one
you-
time where we let Decky croak like a frog. It was so funny.
And when you look around, you note that not the bodies themselves, but the ground that the bodies are lying on have a not very. It's not like literally everywhere, but there are spots all over the place with a quite powerful undead magical aura to it.
So we need to get the fucking
Necromancy, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay, so this guy is very much enchanted, but also there's something wrong with the ground.
So, okay, we need to go then. Who here thinks that we should stop letting him lead us, though, and try to find a place on our own? Show of hands? Because he might be enchanted.
Zargarak will raise his hand.
I'm
You
gonna.
will?
I mean, if you'd like, I could just kind of like, I guess, do the whacking motion into his palm.
well, we're deciding whether or not that's the way we want to go as a group. Who here wants to tie him up and everything, and, you know...
I think we should just let him be. He had the exact same like vision that we did, and he seems to know where he's going.
He's enchanted, and he's seeing...
Well, obviously he's enchanted. He's seeing snakes. He doesn't remember what's going on. But the fact that he saw the same thing I saw.
So you're voting
we gotta
for
go
letting him
there.
continue leading us. Okay, so who all raises their hand then for taking him for not letting him lead anymore?
Zargarak will say, I wouldn't be comfortable killing a such a young
Not killing,
boy.
just tying up.
I-
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, I'll-
same in an area like this, though.
No, we'll keep him with us. We're not gonna just tie him up and leave him. We're gonna see if we can get this magic done. I just don't want him leading us into a trap.
Yeah, I'll actually
Guys,
show Thardrak my little blackjack, just like, yeah, that's what that slapping motion means. And I'm also curious now this might be too powerful, and I could be wrong, but can't a little blunt trauma snap people out of this? I've seen people, like, start slapping people, just like,
What would I roll to know that that's a thing?
Since we were just talking about Teek's lessons, I will say that with those lessons, she learned that indeed with a lot of magic, even powerful magic, sometimes like a form of pain something along those lines, or danger will help you snap out of it. But she would also know that those spells that are used are much more surface level in their enchantments, and this seems to be much more rooted and like knotted into his sense of self right now.
this is gonna be a pretty hard thing to get him to snap out of. But, guys, maybe first move away from this place and then decide what we're gonna do with the guy.
We needed to make sure that when we go leave this area, we're not be like, oh, hey, give us another minute. Just so I know, OC, who
you have a
raised
good
their
excuse
hands?
right now.
Because Asri did... Sargok did, you said?
Yeah, Thargarak was
Thargarak.
for just letting him do his own thing and not being interference in the mission.
Yeah, I'm for
understood.
knocking him out and tossing him on Hefe's back. That's my vote.
We got 2 votes for that, basically. Decorm, how does you vote?
Let's ask Cherry. Cherry, how does Decorm vote?
Is he still in chat?
No, he's sleeping, I think. But I do want to put it in Discord.
Hey Quinn, what do you vote?
I'd say knock him out as well.
Oh jeez, okay.
But that's Quinn. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
But what's Teek?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Quinn. Oh, not
Teek wants to get the fuck out of there. And we'll just, like, whatever makes them go on the quickest.
So she doesn't vote, or she doesn't raise her hand. That's what matters. So we
Yeah.
have 3 that raise their hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so that looks
Wait,
like a...
Decorm raised the hand?
No, Thargarak did.
Oh, I thought Thargarak did not raise a hand to hurt him. I thought Thargarak did not want to hurt him. He thought that Thargarak
Oh
wanted to
no,
let him
yeah,
be.
that's if that's the situation, then yeah. If it was for knocking, but he would be for just letting him go, as it were.
Okay, so that's me, Thogrock, and Quinn on the leave him be.
But do you also then want to split off from him?
No, I want to follow him. I want to follow him to the cabin.
Okay, so Thargok, are you wanting to follow him to the cabin as well? Thargok.
We could, as long as we're not traveling with him, I'm saying.
But we'd have to track him. Let him go on ahead and track him.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I would like to open the chest and not have him open the chest, so if he gets there first, that might be a problem.
Well, I think he thinks he's supposed to open it, so he might try to open it either way.
I mean, he hasn't hurt us or anything. He just doesn't understand what's going on.
We have 2 votes for tying him up and leading him. We have 1 vote for disbanding and tracking him. 1 vote for keeping him in the group. Teak didn't vote, and neither did Decorm. So Teak looks at, or sorry, Asri looks at Teak and says, so do you want to, if you had, clearly you're on the not hurt him side, so do you want to track him or want to keep him in the group?
Yeah, whatever. I don't mind. But let's go away from here, please. This is really, it does not have a good vibe.
Alright, so I go back to I go back to Henry, because Teague's on me, I'm assuming, and keep walking with him, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
So what's the plan of action for now?
Apparently we're keeping him in the group. He's going to be at the front with Teak and Hephe. I'm going to lead him back, hopefully with Fluke, and try to keep an eye on the group and everything around us, and have the, like, in case we need to disengage and get some distance into attack.
Okay. Then with
Good
that decided, I suggest we end the session here.
Alrighty.
Okay.
And I'm going to end the stream.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Ending the recording.